what we've been doing. In fact, I'll save it for the camera. Are we going now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's done the bit where it says start recording, now it's saying stop recording, okay. So I'm going to presume we're live. Well, not live. That's always the worst phrase to say, is because we're not actually live.
The cameras are now active. They are now
We are recording.
We are recording.
Yeah,
the red light is on.
Not even on air.
Yeah.
Although at some point we could do a live
thing. I reckon we should.
Well, once
it's on YouTube.
Well, it's connected. The channel's set up to do streaming. Yeah. We'd need to get the actual Wi-Fi working and then see how crap that is, and it would involve a little bit more technical difficulties.
I think it should work. I've done plenty of live streams on Instagram and Facebook Messenger from here. So
once it's back to
WhatsApp's a bit shit, but there you go.
That's WhatsApp, isn't it? It's free.
Yeah.
Well, so the others
still charge it like 2p a decade or something.
Yeah, well, not just straight onto YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would be the much better one. Like I said,
Did you watch the Mike Tyson Joe Rogan?
I haven't got around to that one. I've been too busy listening to CBT courses, Cognitive Behavioural Therapy. Yeah. Great courses on Audible.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's one of those things that it was connected to the book I finished listening to, which was Coddling of the American Mind by Jonathan Haidt and Greg something. I can't remember what his surname is. Really good book. Although it is about America, it still applies to the UK, and it's partly connected to the anti-fragile part, and also the fact that we're raising children not to be anti-fragile rather than raising them to be. Well, they're not adaptive. It's the classic one of using phones and that if you let a child to go, 9-year-old, to go to the shops, if they were picked up by a police officer or whatever, there's a chance that they'll call social services and so on. So it's about changing that as an aspect to basically everything. And to make them more free. Make free-range kids is the term they use.
We used to be.
It used to be, yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
29, right, okay. So I'm 40, just for everyone that needs to know.
Which is almost basically gives us a decade difference as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 41 in, 3 months, having said that, Do you know what, and if I do polish my own frigging brass knobs a little bit, most people are surprised to find out that I'm 40. Most people easily think I'm 30-something.
Yeah.
Early 30s, and I get that all the time. It might be because I'm a giant kid, but
nothing wrong with that.
Come more out through me immaturity as opposed to me looks, because I think I look ancient, proper wrinkly recently. But the reason I asked is I just want to kind of understand what you mean by free range kids, when you were young. Well, again, I think 10 years difference. Was it the same when I was?
It might be slightly different.
10 years earlier. I mean, you talk style, you talk technology, but was that freedom and that encouragement still there when you were a kid compared to when I was a kid? So, for example, it only just started coming into our culture when we were younger to stay in with your mates playing computer games, and only certain mates did it.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, this is...
They'll still go down the park.
This is 1989. Well, let's say go down the park. We would stand outside the off-licence smoking tabs, drinking White Lightning and Strongbow, whatever else, 2020. That was what I did when I was a kid. And only a small circle of those friends stayed in playing computer games, and those computer games were Amiga.
Yeah.
So that was I'd say that was a small part of it, staying in, doing nothing.
But the larger part was being somewhere else, being outside, or
and exploring it.
Yeah.
And not getting in trouble necessarily.
Unless you were doing something.
Yeah. Though we were doing things that might be mischievous. So, we'd smoke weed. We'd maybe terrorise the shopkeeper a little bit.
Yeah.
But one thing we definitely did all the time is we had this place we called the Hill where we dug a load of BMX jumps.
Yeah.
It's probably the most recreational and educational thing we could have done. Proper valuable, I actually think.
Well, it's construction.
I'll tell you what, residents do not agree. They would rather have you locked away than doing something constructive and active as kids, and that shocked us a little bit.
Yeah.
But we persisted with it. But anyway, what kind of came along with that was a little bit of mischief.
Yeah.
In that, what we used to do
Give a game.
Well, not a game, no, because we never deliberately caused trouble.
Mm.
But what we kind of did was it was innocently inconvenience people, maybe. So I'll tell you the best example I've got is the shop that we used to hang around outside and maybe terrorise the shopkeeper a little bit and maybe even enjoy his company on some days. On this field at the back where we built these jumps, so what we used to do is we used to have fires, and we'd make crate fires out of plastic.
Well, what is it now?
Plastic milk bottle crates. Because plastic, once it gets going,
Yeah.
it can rain all it wants. It ain't going out. It stays going. You know, so we'd all huddle around these crate fires. But obviously that meant that the shopkeeper just had a big pile of bottles outside his shop for the milkman to pick up instead of crates.
Yes.
You know, I'm surprised they actually carried on delivering crates actually.
Well, that stopped, I think.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so that's the kind of stuff we used to get up to. You know, build rope swings, climb trees, and we built an aerial slide one time from one side of a valley. Old rope that we'd found, one side of a valley with a tree at the top, connected to a tree, dead end tree at the bottom end of the valley, over a little brook. Alright? An old rusty pulley wheel we'd found. Did it work? Oh yeah. So I was the second one down it. Terrifying. Brilliant. This finger got mashed in. I don't know if you can see the difference in my fingernails there. No, not that much. They'll never see it.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Yeah. Oh, this got mangled.
And it's slightly swollen. It's slightly different sized.
So this girl wanted to go. And obviously, she wasn't going to go from the top because she couldn't even climb the hill. Cause this girl, you know. So one of the big lads, Gavin, he started pulling the rope down, you know, and making his way back up it to pull it down like a bowstring so she could get on a portion of the way up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she freaking goes, this thing comes rumbling down. Nobody's told me because I've got hold of the other end, and this pulley wheel just goes at mangle right over my finger, and I stop this entire girl with this rusty wheel just with my finger, and it rips my fingernail out the back, but it's still connected.
Ow.
Oh, it was horrible. My finger was like that shape, like that, but the direction it shouldn't bend.
Yeah.
And I literally sat on the bridge at the top and kind of all like that, white, like, do what I look at, and I had to literally just pull my finger straight, you know. But then I had this frigging nail for weeks the wrong way around, and I play guitar and I catch the back end of my nail on the guitar strings, and it was just like everything you could think about was hanging.
But how many stories? Like, I wasn't so much in that case because living in northwest London on a main road that doesn't have as many areas to do such a
mischief areas.
And I wasn't strictly that sort of person anyway when I was younger. And but I doubt there'd be as many stories of that anymore for the generations now.
I'm inclined to agree with you,
For even iGen, which is the technical internet generation.
Okay.
It's like people normally misnomer millennials and Gen X and Gen Y and Gen Z, and I can't be bothered with those ones because it doesn't actually fundamentally matter. Because technically I'm a millennial, even though I was born in the 90s. I can't say it. Leave me alone. I have a condition. And
snowflake.
no, I did come up with a definition for that though, because it's when you get absolutely hysterical about something really incredibly minor.
Yeah.
That's a different point. But I think there's a... You put me off now.
Good.
But yeah, from 1995 is basically where someone, I can't remember who, quoted this idea of iGen, internet generation.
Okay.
Which is basically all they've known is that the internet was there.
Yeah.
And so from that point in time, they've always had the internet. And then about 2012, 2013 is where things start to go really, really bad.
What do you mean bad?
Now, I'm talking mental health conditions and how people react. And the reason why it's 2012 and 2013 is the smartphone existed before then. Existed in 2011 or so.
Yeah.
So that's about the time when I was in college going to university. Well, that's 2008, 2009. But not everyone had a smartphone then.
No.
It was only until about 2011, 2012 where it was like the iPhone 3 or 2 or something like that, and it was now becoming affordable. Now, because it became affordable, younger people had it, which meant they could now go on Facebook, on their phones, or MySpace, or Facebook was around, and it was starting to get whatever it is. So now that was the case, and now they can instantly go onto that, and then from this stage, you can actually follow the graphs. If you look up "Coddling the American Mind," he puts up a whole bunch. Jonathan Haidt's got.
Is that a website?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
He's got a whole. If you look it up, you'll find links to it. You can use Google. If you can't, this is your time to learn. And basically, from there, you can see the rise in anxiety.
Can you shove a link in the comments?
I will.
I
will find that link for you.
Yeah, man.
This is where you've got a pen.
It's alright. Keep everything close at hand in the. Cheers, brah.
But.
Coddling the American Mind.
Yeah. And basically, from this point, you see anxiety levels in girls basically double, which is a huge increase. And you can see the increased amount of anxiety disorders, mental health disorders, and so on. And this just hasn't really changed. But the reason is, the reason why there's a much larger effect on girls than boys is boys will, if there is any bullying in boys, it's physical, it's face to face. Girls, however, you put up a picture, well, it can be all anonymous online. Oh, someone so didn't like this or this. Oh, if you remember the MySpace days of the top 8 pictures.
So is this difference between boys and girls that you've just brought up? Is this something that's on this website that's been measured? So it's not speculatory, and it's not sexist, and it's not any of this. It's the fact that these things are qualities, properties.
Oh no, boys' anxiety and mental health disorders increase as well. It's an explanation of why girls have a greater effect. That's because we're biologically different, and that's just how we've evolved. But this is why it's become such a major thing, and actually the rates of things like suicide have increased, mainly because these overlapping effects all pushing on people. And there's loads of other different reasons, and we could look at individually, sort of like male and women, why the male and female, looking at why suicide rates have increased, why depression's increased, why all these different things increased. But that's quite long-winded. But at the same time, looking at this sort of depression and everything else, I was looking at CBT, Cognitive Behavioural Therapy, not only for me, but the people around me. And because when you go through a journey like ours, I presume also at the same time, there's those moments, you could call it moments of weakness, would probably be the easier one.
Yeah.
Or the time when your mind isn't on the right path and things start to get to you. And that's the moment where Cognitive Behavioural Therapy starts to basically, you start controlling that dynamic.
Becomes a tool for you to...
Just to refocus yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of CBT you do? Because I've done CBT a few times. In it, 2 times I will say. Both under the banner of counselling. And I've also had lots of experience in other things. And one came to me in the form of meditation. The other came to me in the form of literally just discussion, which is partly why I really value these.
I think then the same thing, it works in that same regard.
Yeah. Like, so which one are you doing?
I am literally, I've got a subscription to Audible. And occasionally I will buy a book that, for example, the reason why I listened to The Coddling of the American Mind is because Jonathan Haidt was on Joe Rogan, and then I went, that sounds like a really interesting book.
Okay.
So I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah.
And then from there they talk about CBT, and I go, I have an idea of what CBT is. Yeah. It seems to be supposedly really effective and changed everything else. I was like, well, for the cost of what's £8 a month that I got for Audible for the credit, I got one of these packs, which is great courses online where they get a professor of the specialist subject, I can't remember who it is, but basically talking about how CBT works on these bunch of different practices. And actually, even the whole point of it was to give you some ability to do these as well.
Give me an example of one of the tools they'll give you to use, though. For example, the first one I got was meditate in this very particular way, and it was literal mindfulness, and in that, experience everything going on and within you, going on, around and within you, without judging it, just literally experience it.
Detaching.
You might call it that, or you might even say it's integrating, like, this noise is part of me, and just experience it. You know, so even welcome it in, whichever way you want to look at it, because there's many different ways that, like, I found. So, you know, just seeing if you can, like, just tighten up one of those examples.
I think one of the ones that I found as the fundamental point that really seemed to hone onto my experience, and like all the rest of CBT is more details and so on and so forth, but the one I really paid focus to was the actual CBT triangle, which is quite simply, and you're going to love this one because it goes back to threes.
Oh, mate, I've had a similar conversation today about the power of three.
And shall I tell you what's even better? It even fits into my universe theory of force, matter, energy, that trifecta of...
That was the exact conversation we had about, but remind me of that in a bit. Go on.
And it also comes under the idea of mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
So, taking the idea of mind, body, soul, body behaviour will have an effect on your mind, your thoughts, and your soul, emotions. Because the reason why soul's emotions, they don't use that terms, but that's what I'm applying to. So basically, if you have a bad thought, or better still, I think always emotion seems to be the one that starts you off. You start feeling an emotion. So take the classic example of what witness on a Saturday night, Friday night that you see commonly. Emotion. I've had a hard day, I've had a hard week, I'm feeling sad.
In the egg sort of situation.
It is, it always is though.
Yeah.
But that's why it doesn't matter. Whenever you've got a cycle, it doesn't matter, just choose the point. Just choose a point.
Yeah, choose one and go from there. Because you'll get to the next one anyway, won't you?
But that's also the other thing with
valuable,
the CBT cycle as well.
Yeah.
Unlike normal cycles, like the carbon cycle, the water cycle, and so on and so forth, is it will bounce backwards and forwards to different points, and you've just got to... Because it's a to and fro in all the different things. So take the classic one that most people know, and one that we know personally, because everyone's gone through it most of the time, at least some point. It's been a hard day, I'm not feeling that great, I'll go out for a drink. I'll have a drink of alcohol in particular, by the way, because which means your behaviour, body, is to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay? This then, however, has effect on your body anyway. Thought, well, I might as well just keep on getting drunk.
Yeah.
And actually, you then have the drug effect as well, applying to thoughts. You're more likely to have more depressive thoughts because alcohol's still a depressant. And then it means your emotions into being worse.
Yeah,
I just have this.
That. You know, it depends who you're out with, though, doesn't it? How good are our nights?
It depends on, but
mega, aren't they?
That questions why are you going out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is a massive distinction. That.
And it goes back to the emotion or the thought or the behaviour.
Yeah.
And it's the use of what you're doing. For example, let's even take a semi-controversial issue, even though it's not, marijuana.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, we can argue about the effectiveness and certain things to treat cancer, although I've never seen any scientific study proving it, and I'd like to see how it does that.
I tell you what, that'd be good if you did have a look at published and unpublished papers. That's a massive distinction to make when it comes to scientific research.
I'd like to see a mechanism, so to speak.
Let's do the test.
And
you need to find someone with a valid answer first, but you know.
Yeah, but no, I'm well up. I'm that understanding, as we've discussed on previous ones, that I like that scientific basis. I don't like someone just making a claim of this does it. It's like,
and
can I see what is the rough process of it? But at the same time, I don't want the other one. Well, science has never proven that. It's like,
science doesn't do anything of the sort.
It's a tool. It's a tool. It's a hammer.
Science, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to get a Necron monolith that is the science.
Why did I look down there for a Necron monolith?
I don't know.
What I wanted to do was pull up my little whiteboard so you could draw your diagram, because that'd be a top idea.
But what we've got, so we've got that balance between our mind, body, soul, behaviour, thoughts, emotions. Now it doesn't really matter where in the triangle is. But they bounce off each other. And the idea is that you've got to choose one of those points to make a decision about it. And let's take the classic one, like I said, from this alcohol situation, which is behaviour and action. There is a point that most people either make one or two things, which is, there's a point where you go, I've got too drunk, thought, I've had too much to drink, things are going too much. and then you make one of two choices where the action comes involved. You either go, gonna have some more anyway, I'm already this far, or in that emotional state where you've already set yourself up for damnation that night, or you go, yeah, no, I should end this.
Yeah.
And end that as in terms of going home and getting a kebab or whatever. But that's the point, that even then that's a mild form of your own use of cognitive behavioural therapy. You go, nah, that's too much. I'm not going to have another drink. I'm going to move on. Another case of a personal situation of that idea of, well, let's take the one of losing weight and diet and so on and so forth, right? The emotion is, or even the thought is, one donut can't hurt. Let's take that one, because donuts are a common theme. We've got to connect back. So one donut won't hurt. Behaviour, eat donut. Yeah. Emotion, it's quite tasty. Our bodies are designed to like fat and sugar, and it's combined all together, and so on and so forth. Thought, this made me feel quite good. Behaviour, eat second donut.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, it doesn't matter whether you're doing what some people label CBT is, you're probably doing it every day anyway, but because you're not aware of it, it's taking advantage of you.
Yeah, you're not the one who chooses. Yeah. So the difference there, if you're arguing the idea of CBT in that situation, what you would do, right, for, actually I'm going to have a donut because I've got a craving for it.
Yeah.
Okay? Behaviour, I'm going to have one donut.
Yeah.
Emotion, that was quite nice, and you go down the case of, oh, it wasn't too bad, I feel good about this. Thought, I'll have a second one.
Yeah.
That moment when it comes to that second thought, or just before that behaviour, that thought should be, yeah, but I've done this before, and one donut becomes two, becomes three, becomes four. But if it's a treat, it's really good, but if they're happening all the time, then it becomes your new baseline.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the Fred and Barney and so on and so forth. You've got to go, no, I'm going to keep that. I've had my one treat. And that means next time I have a donut at some point in the future, still super when I have it. And that's taking control of the trifecta rather than it controlling you, which is what.
But is that an example you've given from the book? Like, if they were to give a chapter on that, what would they call it? You know, so like you might have a chapter called mindfulness, or so I'm just trying to.
That one might be a case of dieting. It's literally at the beginning of the. I think they classed it as stage 1 or stage 2 in CBT, because stage 1 is basically like what's happening with you, what is your mindset, what's troubling you, combined with data gathering, which I find is a really important thing that you need to do. Understanding some data about what's going on with you.
Knowing where you are within your own state of affairs is a great way of getting to where you want to go. Because if you don't know where you are, it don't matter where you want to go because you don't know where you are.
Yeah. So you just start walking in one direction, great. You're walking in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and you don't know it because you don't know where you are in relation to your goal. Yeah. So you've got to know exactly where you are. Yeah.
And that in the deciding the course is quite as simple as going, right, okay, what are my feelings? What are my emotions at this time of day? What feels like it's doing me good? What feels like it's doing me bad?
Yeah.
And you know the classic phrase that's sometimes overly used, and Ben Shapiro quote here of facts over feelings. Sometimes you have to go with feelings first to then find facts.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Because I feel this is important, and I'm going to find the fact about it.
I mean, I don't know Ben Shapiro that well, actually.
I don't.
Outside of a couple of little snippets on YouTube and what have you, but you know, generally it looks like he's based around very much politics and current affairs. Which, when it comes to that, you have to deal in facts and figures. But when you're dealing in a personal, individual experience like what we've got, you've got to get into the facts of your feelings.
Yeah.
You know, right now I feel like shit and I want to bawl my eyes out. Well, why? Well, because X person did this, or this is happening to me, whether it be, you know, something health based or something.
But then you've got to pull out the fact from it.
Yeah. So, but you know, I couldn't pull out that fact, could I? If I felt
didn't
happy.
Have a feeling.
Yeah, if I was happy, you go right, Tommie.
No, but happy's a feeling as well.
Well, yeah, you could pull out that fact, but if we generally don't want to fix our happiness, do we? We want to keep it as it is. Fix the sadness.
Which is actually
or
one
at
of the
least escape the sadness, which is a foolish thing to do for those that
Yeah.
for those that want to know. Which is why I'm probing you a little bit more about the particular tool from this book. Because if somebody who's listening wants to have a go, then they can have a fucking go based on what we say. And that's again us helping.
I think the important one, and I think it comes back to even what we said in first podcast, second one, and like I said, it all starts coming together in some muddle, is I think it requires what we're doing now, which is just taking that extra bit of thought. Why am I doing this? What benefit is there? Is that benefit to me?
Yeah,
is it the cost of anyone else?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
And I came up with one for the book that I'm slowly writing about changing the education system, which will be long-winded in this case. But essentially, it comes down to the situation of like, right, it was 4 Ps, and I'm going to try and remember them exactly. Right.
Really?
So what's the purpose of whatever you're doing?
Purpose, right? Okay.
Progress.
Progress.
Okay. Problems.
Problems.
And then paths.
Paths.
Okay. So purpose is for what is the aim? What is the thing of whatever you're trying to do?
Your objective.
Yeah. Progress, well, how far we're going is where is the current situation?
It's the increments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then problems. Be honest, like what is the problem that you're only at this progress, not at this?
Obstacles.
Yeah. And then finally paths. What are your options from here? One of them could be staying. We're just not there yet.
Yeah, the route.
Yeah.
Understand the way to get there.
And
or the many ways of getting there even.
Yeah, no, there should be. To be honest, that one should have plenty of different options you can do. It could be down to 2. It could be multiple, but that's where the discussion part comes in, and it's more of a case. This is a problem. Okay, this problem means we could take this path. We could take this path. We can so on and so forth, and you can tree it out. But I think as an overall system, I think you can apply. The idea is you can apply it to pretty much anything because you can go right. So what's the purpose of me doing a diet? Okay.
It's strange because that's going to take us right into our pledges from last week, which I'm actually quite excited to deal with. So go on, we could use that as your example. What's your purpose for doing 14 kilograms released minimum level of something every day? Activity every day, yeah.
So, on top of that one, no, I haven't hit the 14 kilograms. However,
what did you hit? Go on.
I have, however, done basically, because I'll be honest with this weekend, it's got a bit fuzzy.
It doesn't matter, does it?
On day 25, I'd lost 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is about 12 kilograms.
You've done 12?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
so about 11 or 12.
The thing is, that's still freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Not that I'm...
It's still £1 a day, roughly.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant, mate, honestly. And what about your... Go on.
My minimum level activity, there was a bit of a blip once or twice.
Yeah.
And I'm just still doing it every other day.
Yeah. What did you do?
I'm keeping consistent with DDP yoga.
Right, yeah.
And...
so about 5 out of 7 days, did you say?
Yeah, I think that was the minimum level of activity.
So every other day.
Every other day, which is
more than every year. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I had to. This is one of the things though. Why I didn't reach that probably in the last couple of days. So it's gone another weekend where it's gone slightly maintained rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Is because life does throw curveballs at you. So I went down to London this weekend to sort out powers of attorney for me, my brother, etc.
Yeah.
Which basically means if anything happens to me or my brother, medical-wise, then it means me, my brother, whoever the way around is, my mum, dad, auntie can now have a say in it, as opposed to the council getting a say in it.
Yeah.
And the council can't sell bins, so I don't want them to make a decision about me. And
naturally. So this is you were going on about the purpose.
The purpose
what is the purpose? We're up to date, and the purpose of...
The purpose, well, there's a couple ones. Purpose number 1, okay? Yeah, it's not that healthy to be the weight that I'm at.
Yeah.
Purpose number 2 is I'm kind of fed up of being held back and being slowed down by my weight. And I've got another stupid purpose that also still applies.
I don't think there's any such thing as a stupid
I'll call
purpose
it-
if it's going to fuel you towards your freaking goals, man. Which are better in your life than everyone else's.
It's a combination of the two. So, like I said, there's a lot of people who have got my attention who are really not resilient guys who, like, if you had a scenario where you're in trouble, these are the people you'd call on. Whether it's physical, mental, or so on.
Like who?
Like I said, David Goggins, Tim Kennedy.
Alright, so you're talking inspirational figures.
I'm talking actual figures. You guys look, these people. Even take Jordan Peterson, for example, right?
Yeah.
Take that for a mental example. At least he'll run you through, logically, through what the thought processes are. Joe Rogan, to an extent, does that as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Joe Rogan's ability, not even ability, his property of curiosity, I'll call it, is inspirational.
He's got quite good diplomacy.
Yeah. I'd say he's got mega diplomacy because, you know, he
deals with a lot of controversial people, but he'll talk to them, and then if you notice on a couple of episodes later, if the scenario comes back up, he'll critique them in more depth because he's got that element of I'll be polite talking to you now, and then deal with it like in a better one.
What I mean is, you could have two separate people on who will present a scenario with him, or a scenario to him that actually have opposing facts, if you will.
The ones where he did like 3 or 4
what he won't do is
ones.
he won't go he won't shoot you down necessarily like that. He'll allow you and he'll probe what it is you're saying, and it might make him appear maybe hypocritical, but again, I'll just put on the record that hypocrisy, I think, is a word that's got a bad rap, you know, because no one's perfect, so suck it up, all bags, and sometimes a bit of the left, you know, needs a bit of the right, and vice versa. So
I think it's a question: are you doing it on purpose? Is it? Are you?
Don't know. But anyway, go
but
on.
yeah,
We
so
digress.
the one related to those is mentally, I'm on the edge of being that person that can, if you are in that scenario, that you can rely on, that I will be assistant.
Never.
Physically, however, I'm not. And if there was some sort of emergency situation, so on and so forth, I would become a weakness.
Okay.
And that seems like counterintuitive to my moral positioning.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's one of the reasons why I get rid of it, because now I can be mentally capable, physically capable for what comes actually thrown at me.
Yeah. You want to be in a position where you can deal with life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically it. So, like I said, this is general health, which is a bit of a crap answer. But, like I said, I want to be mentally and physically able. Well, it's a bit fluffy.
I don't know. I can't see anybody wanting to improve the mind or the body or the life in general as being fluffy.
No, I mean just saying health.
Or health. I mean,
yeah,
it's respectable. It's respectable. Like, take from me, you might not look at it that way, but it's respectable. That's just that.
There is the other one as well. It's like, this is more kind of school-based, which is quite an interesting one now, how I've taken things from being a teacher to come back towards me, is the fact is, I can teach students about these ideas of how they can better themselves, but talk about hypocritical, you could see someone in the logical mindset of, how can he tell us about bettering himself where he's overweight and stuff, and it's
absolutely.
And they would have a legitimate point about saying about that.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that's like saying, well, if Christian the teacher's burning his hand in the fire, does that mean I'm allowed to do that stupid thing? Well, don't be dumb.
No, but people want excuses.
Yeah, they want excuses, but let's face it, hypocrisy. Somebody else's hypocrisy is not your green light.
But now also flip that
anyone else's green light.
But now flip that round, being the student the other way round, where it's been, Mr. Cummings has been, that is my surname, yes, I know. It's like day 25, they might not notice it, etc., because they're just not. It's not in their lives, and that's fair enough to them. Yeah. But after the sort of time when possibly around April time, which is it's April the 9th, which is day 100, which is where my current trajectory has taken me to actually hit my goal. Mm-hmm. Mr. Cummings has lost 50 kilograms.
Yeah.
Then they'll go, hold on, he said that he was doing this and he's just gone and done it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should actually listen to him because he knows what he's on about.
Yeah, I tell you what, you'd hope that'd be the ideal, you know. And at the same time,
even to one would be enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely. When I teach my students, when I get the results back from the work they've done, from the lessons they've had, I tell you what, it's just amazing. That's why I teach, and I don't mind teaching the same lesson again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
You know, actually, it takes me back to what you said here. You almost said your 12 kilograms wasn't good enough, and while you're not satisfied with it,
yeah,
you should definitely be happy with it.
Oh no, I am.
You know, and bank that, and that's like a lesson in painting. People, a lot of beginner painters, they seem to think that expert painters don't make mistakes, and they do make mistakes, and that's what makes them better because they understand how to deal with the mistakes, or understand that making mistakes is part of it. That's a big thing. So I have this thing that I teach, I call it one shot, one kill, double tap.
Yeah.
And that's one lesson. Well, how can you have one shot, one kill, double tap? That's hypocrisy. And you need it because one is the aspiration to be better and better and better and better and better, to be perfect. The other is
to deal when it's not.
But you can't be perfect. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be aspiring to better yourself. Otherwise, you might as well just put a bullet in your head.
Yeah.
You know, step out of the game. You know, and you've got to deal with the ups, the one shot, one kills, and the downs, double tap.
Yeah.
You have to.
But the skill that you're actually learning, the skill, whether it's a mental skill or a physical skill and so on and so on, it's actually the more resilient skill, the anti-fragile skill, is to deal with the time where it doesn't work out.
In fact, that hypocrisy, there's valuable information on hypocrisy there, actually, unless somebody wants to say, oh, that's not hypocrisy, I don't know.
This is why we're not looking at the definition of hypocrisy, but it's about the use of language rather than what the language is said. Yeah, go on.
But the point is I just looked at those two polarising views and used them both as fuel to make me better. Well, that to me is a gem. That means I'm using the ups and downs of life to make a better life.
It's back to Fred and Barney, isn't it?
Yeah, it is back, and that's the pulse of that.
Yeah.
Donut, off we go again.
The fluctuation of life.
Right, there's mine, do me.
So...
we also made a promise as well.
A half amount of... Yeah. So one sugar or half the amount of tea.
Yeah, half the amount of sugar in my tea that I normally have.
Yeah, and
which is
more, 50% more lemon water instead.
So... And then the activity was...
The 3 sets of 20 press-ups.
3 sets of 20 press-ups, which he said I'd have to do on camera.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll record it separately.
Out of camera. Well, what, you want to do it separately?
We could record it separately, as in, like, we can record it afterwards.
Do it on your phone. I'll do it right here, right now, in front of people. I know we're not going to move the camera, but I'll literally get down and I'll smash 20 out now.
Yeah.
I'm game for that. That's the one where I feel confident. I don't know I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it comfortably, but
sometimes you have to do things uncomfortably.
Yeah. So let's get on to the sugar bit.
Yeah.
In fact, no, I'm going to smash 20 out now, and then I'll tell you about the sugar journey. Right, here you go. You ready? 1,
do we just want
2, 3. I'm going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
And I will say they're good press-ups as well.
Thank you.
As in, they're not touching the ground, as in...
And I'm not...
All the way up, all the way down. None of this cross-fitting pull-up situations.
I'm pretty familiar with a press-up. I just have not done them properly in a long time. But anyway, so that's set 1 done. I'm pink in the face now. But the half of sugar, not the half of sugar, the half amount of sugar.
Yeah.
1 teaspoon. I failed actually on it this morning because the mechanic is I go 1 and I get a little bit more out.
Yeah.
I actually succumbed to that all week, actually, just because we've had this conversation. Again, this just shows how valuable talking about your problems and your goals and all that is. Oh, I'm knackered now.
Well, it's solidifying to give you a bit more moment to...
I tell you what it does. I literally, the first time I went to make a brew, I'm like, boom, I put my spoon on, I'm like, hang on a minute. The brakes went on. And I'm just like, I made a promise. It is in writing. It's
Yeah.
not just a promise.
It's video as
yourself.
well.
It's out there for the world to witness. And I literally just went that. Boom. And that was my first victory.
But that's it. It's the first victory.
I'd say mega. It was mega. And I've done that all week. And that habit is still there. And I'm still repeating that habit.
Should I tell you what the interesting thing about that is, though? Is like, it's not like we've got a camera on us the whole time.
No, yeah.
And that's the best thing about
lie.
it. It's you could have lied the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not. Because I'm only fucking myself over, aren't I?
But that's it,
You
bingo.
know?
And this is the one that I've been trying to say. And there's a great clip. I will put a link to it because I don't think the BBC will come after me. But it's a Red Dwarf episode. For those people who are unaware, Red Dwarf been going for quite a long time, on and off. Written by Grant Taylor and Douglas Adams. But the TV show, really good. The whole premise of one of these episodes, I'm going to bring it up again, is called The Inquisitor. Mm-hmm. And it's an android robot, biological robot-y sort of thing, that goes through time and space, and it basically gets a person to justify its existence. If it can't, it will wipe them out and replace them with the sperm that could have made it, which is a wrong idea, but nonetheless, the principle is still the same. It's replace you with someone else that deserves it.
Yeah.
Now, that seems pretty, like, who are you to judge? And the clip that I'll link in below, sums it up quite nicely.
The World's End.
Yeah.
The movie The World's End, that's...
And the way it does this, and it does it in a very comical fashion, because it's a comedy show, is the person that judges you is yourself.
Oh, shit.
It is to your own standards.
Okay, interesting.
And I won't go into too much detail because the clip alone will be able to tell you this. It's still hysterical. And the two people they get involved in it, this clip in particular, is Arnold Rimmer and the cat. Have you watched Red Dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Arnold
I
Rimmer...
don't know it like proper nerd does, you know.
But Arnold Rimmer being the snivelling, whining, backstabbing weasel of a man, which is quite common sense, and Cat being essentially a human version of a cat, so only cares about his looks. And it was the interesting point there that the only person that's going to judge you at the end of the day, whether it's 80 years in the future, 60 years in the future, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever, can only really be yourself.
Yeah. Because everyone else really is almost a temporary part of your life.
Yeah.
You're the permanent one.
Yeah. You're the one who still have to face the mirror, and I do recommend, out of all the things you can get a decent mirror so you can face it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because that's really what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So the next thing is the water. I was very good on water on most days, but on other days where I was out of lemon and things like that, or feeling lazy, I actually I ain't satisfied.
You're not satisfied with it, which is...
Yeah, I'm not satisfied in that. On some days, I actually drank more tea than I should have done. However, this is going to be part of my pledge for next time, is I am actually going to record how many cups of tea I have on each day. So I know exactly where I'm at, so I do know what I'm drinking and whether it is a reduction. So I can.
So you have a number?
Yeah. I have a definition. So then I can also add that number to... I can do the same to the cups of... I'm still knackered after them press-ups. I can do the
and
same.
lemon water, so you can see the numbers there.
Tea down, lemon water up.
Which is the whole reason why I have a stupid Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I say why I call it stupid.
It's not.
It's completely in detail, but the great thing is I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
and for example, I can tell you right now that I've lost 11 inches over my whole body, so...
Wow, yeah.
I check it every morning, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
and I can see where it fluctuates. And should I say the other important one to remember is it's quite good for when you go through a diet, you've got to understand that your body does go through different cycles depending when you ate, what you ate, and what effect it has. And it does go up and down depending. Yeah. As mentioned before, it's like, well, half a litre of water is 500 grams. that half a kilogram, it starts to make difference depending on what's happened.
Yeah. So a big piss makes a difference, is what you're saying.
And also at the same time, you can pay attention. For example, if you have been, depending on what exercise you've been doing, you might have replaced some with muscle. Don't think that you've gone up by 2 kilograms because you put 2 kilograms of muscle on. That's not how conservation of mass works. Yeah. And unless someone comes across and then
probably going to work like that with me though, because I'm going to be doing a lot of. I'm not obviously doing weight loss or cardio. I'm going to be doing lugging my body weight around essentially, unless it's roller derby, which I actually did yesterday, by the way, for first time in a while, and that was pretty difficult. Yeah. But you're going to burn them. It's like 2,000 calories in a session for roller derby. Yeah. Easy.
But with that, you've got to be making sure you've got the components to actually build up. Yeah. Because just like...
You mean the nutrition components? Yeah.
Right. Just like I can't build a Millennium Falcon Lego piece without the kit.
Well, no shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you say that it's no shit and everything else, but then someone's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just not putting on any mass in any other context.
It is an experiment I would love to do. So again, I don't know if I mentioned Joe Dispenza, right? Is this neuroscientist? Yeah. Whatever the description. And I'm sure I mentioned this experiment in one of the other videos. He basically goes, right, I want you guys to do dumbbell curls. And I want you guys just to think about doing dumbbell curls. Both sets of dudes that did this, or people, whatever you want to call them, both biceps got bigger. Just by doing it, one by thinking about doing it. Or when you're in your head, do 20 bicep curls every day. The biceps gets bigger. Well, how does that work?
What's the difference in rate?
I
know you couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell you any of the details of it.
But even the only reason why I'm asking for the difference of rate isn't to say that it's not true, because I know why it makes sense.
The difference of rate even means.
As in, so one might grow by an inch, one grows by half an inch.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I think that would be quite interesting.
Yeah.
What is its connection to the placebo effect and the nocebo effect?
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
Is what people don't know about is, although there's the positive placebo effect, the nocebo effect is it has the opposite. Yeah. I'm sick, I'm going to keep getting sick, for example. Yeah.
I love placebo, mate. If you could practice it, you should do.
Most people do, and they don't realise it. Shall I tell you why?
Right, because it works.
Paracetamol
is there. Why is there no painkillers?
No, paracetamol works 1 in 10 times. 1 in 10 people. Which is lower than the placebo effect.
You know, it took major surgery for me to take painkillers, you know. Just thought I'd throw that out there. In fact, shall I do another 20?
Yeah, if you're up to it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the point, isn't it? If I leave like an hour between sets, it's kind of...
Well, like I said, it's up to you. It's your standard.
You did say beginning, middle and end, but yeah. I just thought about...
Otherwise you'll forget.
Not that I'll forget, it's just that this is, as well as being a demonstration that I'm committed to doing it, I want it to be slightly testing as well.
Yeah.
You know, and actually I would do, and I've started doing, pull-ups on my girders there. Yeah. So I actually started doing 6 pull-ups, whether they be... pull-ups or chin-ups or side to side, because the girders are T-shaped and I can go left and right. Yeah. I've been putting them in between, getting ready to add my next goal in. I'm already prepping to make things better for next time. So yeah, there you go. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40, 50. 20. There you go.
The other reason why I'm being silent is it actually does pick up on the mic.
Does it?
Yeah.
Alright, so you can actually hear what I'm doing.
We should be able to hear it, because I can see
the pumping away.
Yeah. But
I couldn't do it, by the way, at the beginning. I'm not even lying. This has been a challenge, because normally what I do, I build up for a couple of weeks through sets of 10. Yeah. And I decided that actually, I've not done that in months. And sets of 10 is easy.
But then that's part
for me, obviously.
Yeah. But then it's part of the fun experiment at the same time. It's like, can I just push my body and see what it'll do? There's that, which is an idea to actually see what can I actually do when I put it through that situation. Yeah. Rather than, I'll slowly build up and then, well, I can't do this. Like, no, what can I push it to without breaking it?
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe chip off a few bits, but it's the same principle as when you drive a car and you get that bit of that's got that open road, that feeling.
Yeah. So I actually got distracted and I was writing down what I'd achieved and just making a record. I was about to give myself a tick for the 3 sets.
Got one more yet to do.
I do have, so I'll give you power over
when we get the last one.
Ticky bits.
But actually, one of the other reasons why I'm looking for is 15 kilograms rather than just 14. That just worked out time.
What, for next week?
I should be able to do it next week. Shouldn't be a problem.
Are you giving your next pledge now? Is that what you're doing?
Let's do the rough maths on it. So next week. Well, it depends if we're going to do Wednesday or...
what would you prefer? In fact, I can't say that without looking at my diary, having said that. Wednesday actually would be a better idea, given that I think I'm...
By Wednesday?
No, I shouldn't be busy in the evening next Sunday. I couldn't tell you about getting my diary.
That's fine.
But
we'll work out.
That it's a massive difference in
we
time.
We can do it by the date, and I can tell you what it should be. Like I said, my goal is £1 a day.
Unless you want to do next Monday.
We can do next Monday. Monday's fine.
Alright.
So we can do it on Mondays.
Well, what we'll do is we'll make sure that my diary's all clear.
Cushy, and then we know. Because then I can tell you what the... It's like I said, those people following at home, we are recording on the 27th, which...
Oh, today's the 27th.
Today's the 27th, which is basically £1 a day. Yeah. And I'm pretty confident that I'll get most of that back off, because like even the stuff that I'm maintaining now, that will then... It'll catch back up again, just like the £25 in 25 days.
Yeah, well.
I'm confident that one. But my goal of why I keep on saying about the 15 kilograms is because when I get rid of that, that's about the weight of my chainmail.
Okay.
So in theory, I would be able to put on my chainmail, fight,
and feel normal,
and feel that I would have been without fighting normally.
Right, okay.
Which I tell you one thing, talk about taking souls. I had a taking souls moment, which is a David Goggins bit, and I love the phrase taking souls.
It's great, isn't it?
You Can't Hurt Me is such a good book, and the audiobook's amazing.
Try to download Audible. I couldn't get it to free. It worked for some mad reason. I couldn't find my Amazon password. Why? But anyway, sorry, crack on.
And so, taking souls as a principle is basically get inside a person's head that is your opposition, whether or not that's yourself or someone else.
Yeah.
And the taking souls moment, and it wasn't a negative taking souls moment. It was a good taking souls moment, and I've been doing it more and more in my competitive side of Viking fighting. My combat skills got better, but at the same time, my speed and strength is getting better because I'm not carrying the weight.
Got you.
And what's happening now are some of the better fighters are going, I'm having difficulty dealing because you've got a lot faster. Your fighting styles become different.
Yeah.
Because I can move my shield around quite a bit. At some point, if I've got a van, I'll bring it in sometime. Mm-hmm. My shield for scale is...
That thing I picked up in your house?
No, not that one. That's about the same size, but it's a lot lighter. So my normal one's a bit lighter. It's still a good chunk of kilograms. But it's about 36 inches in diameter, roughly.
Yeah.
And...
That's this, by the way, for those.
3 foot, or I can't think of what it's 2.5 times it by 2.5, and you're getting centimeters.
1.5 meters.
Yeah, and I can throw that around a lot more now. So you can do like whippy things with a sword going underneath it, and people aren't expecting that.
Yeah.
And getting up to kicking shields, so that I can then hook round. But one of the things that really not about that taking souls, although that's quite nice, being that speed and the fact that I can see myself being more fitter than some others that are there now. Or the fact that I just keep going and I'm not feeling as tired. There's probably a better term of it. But I was talking to 2 people who hadn't been there for a month because we were off over the Christmas period, but then been to the last couple of sessions where I've been dropping the weight.
Yeah. And
they went, "You've got really quick." And I've gone, "Yeah, I've lost this 10 kilograms, etc." And they've gone, and these 2 are pretty, they're lanky but skinny, and they've got a tiny little bit of paunch on them, and they're going like, maybe I need to drop a bit more. And that was the moment. That was the moment where I was taking the soul.
Right.
They went, oh wait,
you see, it's behind the eyes. It happens, isn't it?
Well, they even said it. They said, like, "Oh, I might get rid of this." Then it's like, it's that moment behind their eyes. It's that moment they've just gone. Oh wait, I'm not even
rubble.
Yeah, it's that moment that they saw as like, oh wait, he's already lost 10 kilograms, which was about the time on Thursday, about 10 kilograms, and it's like, and I just said, I went, I've still got a lot more to go, and it was their face of, hold on, what?
Yeah.
But that, like I said, that's my motivation. I've got a picture on my phone of 25 bottles of 2-litre bottles of Coke, and I'm just going, I'm going to be taking that weight jacket off, maybe by April, latest my birthday, December the 18th. And now imagine just my muscles staying the exact same as they are now. Imagine doing what I can do without those bottles being carried.
It'd be a nice idea to do a live weigh. Get some scales here.
I'll bring my scales.
I don't own scales, but I'd love to know what I weigh.
Yeah.
Again, in front of people and in front of you, bear witness.
We'll do day 100.
That. Yeah, I'm absolutely game for that, and
we can do your arms and stuff as well if you want.
I'm up for that, but I can't imagine my arms getting too much bigger. Though at the same time, I do handstands quite regularly, and I can at the back, this area here, I can feel this really meating out.
That's the thing.
It's not normal for me to feel meat in there. Normally, that's
like the biggest one that I notice as well, because I do a lot more of a case of my shoulders changing. Yeah. But this is the point of the mirror. This is the point of why whenever you do some sort of diet or anything else like that, or fitness plan, take pictures of yourself. Yeah, you're going to feel...
Topless, vanity-wise, or I don't know how you feel like for the camera. I feel weird about my body, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, but I've...
your chest and
I've got it on...
skinny neck.
Yeah, I've got it on... Yeah, but it's part of the DDP thing, which is you take them in the different positions so you can see where you are and where you've got to from just doing it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you feel like crap taking these pictures, but then that's the moment, and we'll link it back down to the CBT moment. But like, yeah, the fact that you look crap in this moment is the reason why you're doing this. Yeah.
And
you go, oh, I can't do that. I thought I could do that. Oh, this realises that I don't. We always look at ourselves far better than we actually are. That's why we always generally are more attracted to people who are more attracted than ourselves. We think about, I think it's like a quarter more or something like that. People have done, psychologists and stuff have done studies, but the number is about 25% more. And I think sometimes you need to get that and you need to shatter that and go, right, who am I really?
I tell you, it is an interesting thing. I watched this channel on mixed martial arts about these chubby and tubby fighters being the better fighters, because when they get in the ring, well, they give less fucks because there's no vanity involved either, because they're literally going to be there and be this what you might consider in a stereotypical way an unfit looking gentleman, but actually what we seem to mix up what is aesthetic and what is fit.
Yeah.
What is aesthetic and what is practical, and these guys punch harder and mean more behind that punch because they give so many less fucks. Like, well, I don't care what I look like. I'm here just to pound some skulls.
I want to make a separation from that. I agree.
Yeah.
However, but I want to make a clear separation from that one. And this comes to you could call it a personal pet peeve, but it's this. There's that, and then there's fat acceptance.
Alright.
The fat acceptance movement. Well, they'll use the case of, oh no, but I am healthy and fit and stuff.
Well, sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, but then there's a certain argument they do one thing.
Yeah.
And there's the question though.
No, some people are happy to be fat. And that's all fine, isn't it? It's fine.
But
It is fine.
It is. I can't tell them what to do.
No, and if they're happy, why should they?
Yeah. But then there's an argument there of socialised healthcare.
It's still their business.
It is still their business. I think that there's an important, and I'll use the phrase I have in mind, that I think, my opinion, is I think that feels like a slippery slope. I think in a CBT context is there's an element, or I can see an element because I've been there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Not as far, and dare I say that one, in that I am this, I can't do it.
Ah, right, yeah. I am.
So let's just keep going.
By this, I am fat, I can't be thin. I am fat, I can't perform. I am fat, I will never be good looking.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting because being the skinny guy, you know, the cheekbones and the frigging whatever else bones showing. Like I think the same thing. You know, I could never be attractive because you know there's barely any chest or there's ribs showing, or you know, especially when I was at my lowest weight.
Yeah.
In fact, we've never spoke about what I've been through in order to want to be on this journey. I've never told people what happened to me, so remind me of that.
Well, when you want to, because like I said, that's
I'm ready. If you've ever got any questions about anything personal with me, I'll pull it. You know.
I think maybe we could save that one for we do weigh-in or whatever, and so on and so forth.
Well, whatever. I mean, in fact, I'm going to say it today because episodes in. We said we were meant to do it in the first one, and I never did it. But I think I'm bald. And I think no woman ever liked me being bald. Obviously, that's not true because you know there's been many fantastic ladies.
But there's a point there. Thought, which is a matter of opinion, emotion going, oh well, maybe. Even it doesn't matter if it's true or not. That emotion takes place, and then your behaviour is, oh well, maybe I won't do this, whatever.
I'm working on it.
and then you see the fact of it is the fact in that situation doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
unless you decide. Oh wait, no. The fact is that really hasn't taken place because there have been people that have done this. Yeah. So then you've got to change your thought. Because you change your thought, then that will lead to a change in emotion. Or thought, I'll change my behaviour. It's like, that's what... Okay, right. My emotion isn't great at this point in time. Right. Thought, to get myself better, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah. I tell you what's interesting.
And then it leads to a better emotion because I've done something.
You talk about that positive experience of taking souls. It's the same battle, isn't it? Because once you realise that, hang on a minute, it's charisma that's attractive. Because I can absolutely say that to people I really like. You know, you could not be stereotypically the most beautiful person on aesthetically, but I tell you what, you say the right things to me in the right way, and I tell you, I'm yours. You know, not yours, but don't look at me like that. But yeah, what I mean is like I literally see through people's skin, and that it comes from behind the eyes. That charisma, doesn't it? It's
an easy
that's
excuse.
The bit you have to work on if you're gonna be a beautiful, attractive person to date to whatever it is.
Anything.
It's behind your eyes, and you see it in people. You see it when it's taken away behind their eyes. In that same way, when you see somebody's soul taken, whether it's positive or negative, it happens there. And this is in these places. That's where that happens. Doesn't happen because L'Oreal said cake this shine on your face, and I mean that.
I think that's our first swear word.
Oh, I've dropped a few F-bombs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I mean that was my first one without inhibition because I did think about some of them, and then I thought I don't really care. We're here to be ourselves.
No, but that's true. There is an element of that. It's hard to do that, but the reason why I said it's an excuse is not what you're saying. The excuse is I'm not good looking, and then you go, it's like, hold on, how many people have you found attractive that are not actually good looking? In
comparison to what stereotypically some people would say.
Well, we look at celebrities and all these people on Instagram and so on and so forth, and people put up this fake persona of themselves. Well, guess what? Even if they are, and the celebrities and so on and so forth, what? They're the most attractive 95. They're more attractive than 95%, if not more, of the rest of the world that you deal with. Guess what? Still, average people and below are still finding people and still doing stuff. And then once at the end of the day, like personally dealing with those sort of relationship sort of stuff, there's a point where I've just gone, well, what's it about? Do I actually want and am I attracted to someone? And I could talk about even like yesterday, because this has been a thought process that's going on time, is someone that I've seen who is drop dead gorgeous. You couldn't deny it whatsoever. But then, and I've known them for a while, and whatever, but nonetheless. And you look at them and go, would I want to be in an actual relationship with that one person? Because there's certain things that get on my nerves now.
Yeah.
Because I'm now on this journey.
Yeah.
And my mindset has changed.
Uh-huh.
I'm perfectly happy with helping people to try and tag along on the journey. That's the whole point.
Uh-huh.
But it's that drain of then trying to drag someone along and then they go, no, I'm not doing it. And it's like, they just like...
Yeah.
Come back. It's like, I don't want... Every relationship, as we said in the episode, should be...
I'm still up in arms about that. Not up in arms, but I'm still on the fence with that idea.
And I'd rather want someone who's on the same journey.
I can understand that that's what you want for yours.
Mm.
And that is
not an identical journey, but...
Yeah, but some people are happy to be in this situation where, some people are absolutely...
Yeah.
And that's why, again, we come back to that word acceptance, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You should accept somebody for who they are, not for who you think they should be or could be, because that's morally not right. Well, I say morally not right. It's not morally productive.
Yeah,
you're gonna destroy your relationship because basically what you're saying to that person is you're not good enough.
Yeah,
that's no grounds for a relationship. But if
you're both spinning off each other,
understand. I would love a relationship where it's and you. Helping each other get towards that goal. I mean, to be honest, maybe even this is too one-dimensional for what life is, because maybe this person being here is helping you do that journey. Yeah. They and
but
vice versa.
But at the same time, they're doing that. Yeah, okay, so that is an image, but I'm not saying it's not emotional, and it's basically someone who's promoting action or whatever thought processes.
Encouraging, not disparaging. I think.
Which is what we said before as
well.
Yeah,
it's great. This comes from Games Workshop training. That it's great. But go on.
It's like the pit, and I will go to a paint one. I saw it one, and it was actually probably this week on some of the Facebook pages where someone puts up their first painted model, etc. And shall I tell you what I liked, which was more often than I've seen in different Facebook groups, is the people going, it isn't. There's like some people didn't comment. Like I said, it's not Golden Demon winning painting. But the amount of people who just went, thumbs up, love, it's like, that's what you want. It's like, it's your first painted model. Awesome, well done, keep going.
You don't see a newborn baby go, and you go, that ain't a word, that's shit. You don't do that, you know what I mean?
No.
And you see these people striving to get better, or striving, not even if it's just better, but striving to create. Should be encouraged.
And the cojones, and I will say it again, the cojones put it. It's just like, I'm going to post on a painting website where I see people who have put these fantastic non-metallic painting models. And I'm just going,
award winners, left, right and centre. And you come out and you go, there's me baked potato.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's fucking wonderful that you've actually just done that. Yeah, I agree.
This reminds me of, there's some people who said you can't be proud of other people's achievements. Yeah, that's crap. Because I was proud, and this is...
It's like saying you can't be proud of supporting your football team when they win a cup.
Yeah.
You've got to be... Yeah, you are. Because even just your vibe is...
But it's the question, you're not proud for yourself, you're proud for them. There's a difference.
Maybe. That's for the individual to decide what he's proud for.
I'll give you an example of this story. So I was actually happened to be on the bus towards going to doing a reenactment training. And this kid and his dad or uncle or whatever... got on the bus. Yeah. This boy must have been, 13, 14 or so. Mm-hmm. Because of my training, he's got special educational needs. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on back buses, and they can sit opposite you. Mm-hmm. And his father was sitting there, and the boy's sitting diagonally to me, and he's just staring at this certificate in front of him. Now, I can read upside down. Like I said,
a bat. Like a bat.
No, as in if someone...
I know what you mean.
it's a skill that you get better at.
Like an Australian.
Yeah, like Australian. Yeah. And I read it upside down, and it's like life skills level, whatever, right? Yeah. And the kid was completely and utterly befuddled by looking at it. As in, like, you can see in his eyes where he's going, I shouldn't be holding this, as in, like... He was unexpected of it. And it
Is
didn't
that an
matter.
assumption, though?
No, it was just his demeanour.
Okay.
As in, like, he was still proud of it, but it's like, it's unbelievable this. How have I got this? How have I got this?
Yeah, man.
And I was looking at this and I read it upside down on life skills, and I know what that sort of thing is, particularly with someone with special education needs. And I'm sitting there going, good on you. And I actually had to stop myself from smiling because I have no idea who this child is. I have no idea what they've gone through or anything else like that. I'm looking at that and I go,
yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a bit like the guy we saw episode 1 on DDP and do a screaming, just get on.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
It's like,
mate.
It's like, you did that. Yeah.
I tell you what, I absolutely get a kick out of anybody achieving at whatever level, especially when you can see it in the face and just think, oh, mate, go on.
Yeah, and they've had that journey for it.
Do you know what, even if they crash and burn,
yeah.
you know, you see these fail videos and everybody laughs at the little kid who hits this jump for the first time and smashes his face in on the floor. You know, most people go, ooh, oh, you shouldn't do it. I just think, mate, go on.
Is you alright?
Do you know what I mean? Hit it again. Because that's the kid I was, you know, hit it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like...
Which reminds me, I need to smash another 20 out.
Yeah.
So do
yeah, go on.
No, yeah, alright.
Get over and done with.
Yeah.
And that will be within a 30-minute bracket.
I'm actually surprised, if I'm honest, because I didn't do them this close together during the week and I've lost count. Shit. How many have I done?
I think you're on 10.
Have I done? No way have I done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. And just in case, 1, 2, 3. So if you say I've done 10, then I've just done 23 just in case I made up for it. Let's do one more.
There you go.
24.
I'm pretty satisfied by that.
Cool.
I think you've done more.
Should we create new pledges for next week while we're on it?
For next Monday?
Our next sesh. There we go. Right, okay.
So
I already know what mine's going to be. I say it, I know. I kind of don't. Right, dietary one. Count.
Yeah.
Count.
Data.
Tea and water.
I hate some data.
Right, so find out, but I'm going to stick to that baseline.
Yeah, no, keep to that, but now you can track it.
So track it. Count tea and water. Should I add something to it? Like, I will have a. Oh, I don't know whether it's doubt or a lack of willpower that. I need to improve my diet. My diet last week, I had a bit of a knock. I ate something that wasn't great for me, which
that was Friday and Saturday. This for me.
Proper took me out, like, and it was more of. It was, it was less of the raw veg and vegan lifestyle, and more of. I had a latte. I had
processed.
Well, the latte you might say processed, but I had I had Wagamama, which is like my favourite place to eat ever. But whereas I'd normally have had something a little more wholesome for me, I thought, right, I'll have a go. So I went high fatty meat, which was duck, load of rice, which is generally good for slowing everything down, and some prawns. So it was more along the lines of what you eat, obviously, apart from the rice and a couple of vegetables.
More meat and fatty.
Yeah. And it ruined me for days. I actually couldn't really eat properly. And, it was hell on my frigging back end, like real awful for days. And Wim Hof.
Yeah.
The Wim Hof method, for those people that suffer with ring sting, we'll call it.
Yeah.
The Wim Hof method for that, absolutely brilliant. Like, it fix it within seconds. I mean it. So, in fact, should
add that too.
It really needs to happen. Should try and get that fucker on here, That'd be amazing. Really mean the Wim Hof method is mega. What was I trying to say? I'm still reeling from the press ups, you see. About
a dietary one that you're going to do.
Yeah, so I realised that because I really, let's now's my chance to tell you about my freaking journey, innit? But I'll just say, I don't want to be vegan. I don't want
to be that limiting.
Have to live healthily. I'm not vegan, but what the point is that I don't want to eat the way I eat, although I do enjoy it and I've learned to love it and I've learned some great things out of it. I still want to live the way I lived before what happened to me. So, tell you what happened to me now. So, I had stomach issues for a very long time, since I was 22 up till this point. And then in 2012, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which personally I think is a giant sack of bullshit. Not my diagnosis necessarily, but
the disease
in general.
I can't remember.
People can go into that with me all they want.
That's just basically intestinal distress, isn't it?
So what Crohn's disease is? It's a genetic disorder where your own immune system, so it's an autoimmune disease, is overactive. So then your immune system attacks your own internal organs from anywhere between your mouth and your anus, all right? And it attacks your bowel or anywhere on that passage in the same way your immune system would attack your kidney if you'd have had a kidney transplant.
Yeah, right? You get an allergic reaction.
Inflammation. Allergic reaction is a understatement. So, and I'll go through it because, I've been through Crohn's as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
And that is not my words, that is my consultant's quote. You have Crohn's as bad as it gets. Okay? So, got diagnosed in 2012. I was put on all sorts of horrible, expensive drugs. So I was on the same drugs. Azathioprine is the drug that they give to kidney transplant folk.
Immunosuppressant.
To stop the immune system chomping away. I was also given another thing called Humira. And that's quite painful. Like it's an injection in the arm, but it's like movie. It's like one of them ones, like weird pen thing, but not small pen.
Couple injections.
Freaking marker, yeah. And you see it like through that little spirit.
I know. It's one of the reasons why I could never be a doctor.
Right, it's a proper movie one.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it feels like you're being really punched in the arm, and that was like $2,000 a pop. I had to have that every 2 weeks, and I had to travel all the way to Bolton from Manchester every 2 weeks. No matter. So that was my day off. My day off was to go there and get medicated, and these two immune suppressants, as far as I'm concerned, wrecked me.
Yeah, because they would have just obliterated your immune system.
So I queried this with the nurse specialist, because I never, when I was at Bolton, never saw my consultant once, and that is poor. So I only saw my nurse specialist. Okay, and now everyone's trying to help me. Everyone is well-meaning, but I personally I'm not on side. But anyway,
it's well-meaning but baseless, or not differentiating.
No, what I mean is everyone's giving me these drugs saying they're going to help, and they're really not. And what they can't do is give me any actual facts that demonstrate how it helps. No one's doing science on me.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying, right, on the pack here it says, give this and it will work.
Yeah.
Oh, how fucking scientific.
Yeah, there's no data back on it and look what's actually happening.
Yeah, correct. So this is the journey I started to go on about educating myself on what people are putting into me and why, and it turns out it's all pretty blind. I could say sinister in some areas.
Particularly on a lot of those sort of strong drugs, apart from like the immunosuppressors, but a lot of the other ones are sort of like, we use it and it treats for this because it has some effect on some people. Yeah. It has this effect on other people, and we use it for multiple different things. It's a classic Viagra case.
See, what you just pulled there is one of my gripes with my consultant goes, your Crohn's is specific to you. It's different for everybody. Yet they will give you a one-size-fits-all blanket drug. And
so's the education system, and I'd say this one down to a T. It's like, you're all special, you're all unique, but we're going to teach you in the exact same way, and you're the exact same things.
It's all cocks, isn't it? So anyway, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So I got diagnosed, I spent whatever time, and then finally I started getting Oh, sorry. I queried with the nurse specialist. I said, well, are these drugs compromising my immune system? She spells it out to me like this. She said, no, your immune system is overactive, and what the drugs do is normalise your immune system. I'm like, okay, that all makes sense. So I've got a normalised immune system. However, I started to get nose infection, Staphylococcus aureus in my nose, which actually I've only got diagnosed this year. So we're in 2019. This is from 2012. It's took me that long to get it. So if I have got a normalised immune system, why am I now susceptible to a Staphylococcus?
The problem is what you have in
Why
the
have I got
situation,
staphs?
and I'll explain it. It's not normalised.
It's not normalised. I can say it.
Your intestinal system might be now to a normal level, but guess what? If they're all like this on a scale, and the immunosuppressor then, oh look, it's going to reduce it.
Well,
and that's if they go down at the same rate.
See, the thing is, what's happening there is we've got an assumption going on, and that this is what I never got from the hospital. I would say, you show me the science done on me. Don't show me what your research says. Yeah. I don't care about that. I say,
what's my white blood cell count?
There you go. What's me bone marrow like? What's me liver's ability to process toxins? Because you know your liver really governs a lot of how your immune system works.
Yeah.
And on and on.
Well,
and
it controls.
on and on.
It's combined with that for homeostasis, which is a huge one.
So show me my facts and figures, and show me the inner workings of me. Don't tell me that you know best about me when you don't have the facts and figures on me. And I, in the end, just went, you can't deal with my sensible questions. I'm asking for science, facts, figures.
Can I look at my blood work, please?
Well, I mean, I can always look at my blood work.
Yeah.
But what I can't do is, or what I couldn't do in that situation back then, was understand. Because I didn't have understanding.
They don't want you to have understanding.
Because you become a little bit difficult, like I am. I'm pretty difficult for most doctors because I'll ask what I consider. Body? Well, exactly. This is. Do you know, it's going to become a gripe about doctors. This, and I have this gripe a lot. And
it's
I
the
don't
system
want
more
this
than
to
the
turn
doctors.
into it. I'm here for solutions. Do you know what? I am here to gripe as well. This is like therapy for us.
If you want to say it. That's the important thing.
So anyway, I'll fast forward to 2016, 2017, round about Christmas time. So this is now where Crohn's manifests. It's as bad as it gets. So what started to happen to me was I have a period of being incredibly ill, in pain. I got sacked from my job. A job that I am good at, loyal at, and I've been for many years, and you know,
that's
they just you need. This is just my advice to anybody in any position of illness. You need to look after yourself, no matter how much your company or how well-meaning they might seem. They will just bin you off, because that is what happened to me. All right, so prepare for that. So. You'll also find out who your true friends are as well. I genuinely mean that.
Yeah.
Whether it be blood or whether it be social, you will find out who really cares, because I really found out.
Yeah.
You hear that. It was a real experience for me. So what happened was I went to the bog, and this is all funny, and I'm happy talking about it, although it is serious.
Yeah.
Sit down and take a shit, and all I can hear all of a sudden is, that is not my arsehole. I'm farting out of my dick. I'm farting out of my dick. There's air coming out.
You're queefing.
Alright? Deefing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. And I immediately realise what I think it is. Right? So what the Crohn's... So what I then did was I jumped in the bath.
That's a note for me to put on the...
So I jumped in the bath to double check, like you would if you get a puncture in your bike. Yeah. And I'm sat there, and I'm shitting out my dick, I'm farting out my dick, and I'm like going, yeah, this is as bad as it sounds, mate. Right?
So that's a kidney fuck up at the start.
That's not a kidney fuck up. What happened was my bowel had rotted and dissolved so much into my bladder, punctured into my bladder. Yeah, so now my own bladder has become a large intestine, a small and large intestine because of the where it was bypass. So I'm now shitting out of my dick. All right. So the next step after that is sepsis and death.
Yeah.
All right. There's no opinions in what I went through, and yeah, I had to have major surgery. You know, so I'll show you how big my scar is. So there's my scar. Yep. Starts at the top of my belly button right there. It goes all the way down to there. They filleted me. They took out 80 centimetres of bowel, including my terminal ileum. Yeah. All right, and they gave me a new arsehole there, so they pulled me small intestine out of there by so much and gave me a new arsehole, essentially there. Bag. And ileostomy bag is this one because it comes from my ileum, not my colon. Yeah. But whatever, same shit, you know. And I went into that operation, and again, if anybody ever wants any advice or support, if you're about to go through something like this, honestly, get in touch with me, and I'll do what I can to help you. Though most people can. I must admit, most people struggle with how passionate I get about this because I fucking lived it. But not only did I live it, don't take drugs, any of their medication. I question as critically as I can everything they say and do, and I have a great diet, and I'm in my 3rd year now, and I'm rocking it. Yeah, through doing it my way. Yeah, and I don't say just my way in my opinion. It means I do my research and I do my experiments on myself to find out what's best. Anyway. So I had this operation. I have to now come to terms with having this shit bag, and that was an interesting ordeal in itself. I didn't let it hold me back for those people I know. I've got this bag attached to me, and literally you don't have control over this. It's called a stoma. You can't pinch one off. Yeah. It's shitting when it's shitting. The bag fills when it fills. It don't matter what time of day it is, if that thing's full, you've got to get up and change it.
There is no control
if when you're changing it decides to carry on shitting, then you're shitting wherever you are. Yeah. Whether it be in your own hands on the floor in the bath. You better get used to the contents of your own guts, and you best get used to monitoring it, because if you want it to behave well. Yeah,
not get infected or anything else.
Well, here's the beauty of having this bag. It allowed me to do very visible and measurable experiments. There you go. So this is why I drink lemon water. So the experiment was, right, drink a can of Coke, see what happens. And I mean, like, within minutes, like 20 minutes, this can of Coke plus more, it's pissing out. It's not foaming out here. My body's just going, get it out. That's all I can say. My body's.
You see how quickly it goes through your body.
Like within minutes, but you'll get out more than you put in. Yeah, a pint of lemon water, half a lemon in a pint of water, probably get out about 20%, and that's over a matter of hours. So, lemon water itself will dehydrate you. So you'll get out a lot more water because your body's using electrolytes and whatever essential minerals and all that to deal with the water, and it's not putting any back in. So essentially, if you're drinking pure water, you're just flushing your good shit out. Lemon water, on the other hand, was just amazing. My body was like, keeping that.
That's the major problem that people come up with the introduction, having to make sure there's enough electrolytes in the carnivore diet.
Lemon. So anyway, it allowed me to do a lot of experiments on
and experiments on yourself are a much more important thing. The same thing. Tim Ferriss does such similar things on himself on like 4 Hour Body and so on and so forth.
Ben Greenfield as well, I like that guy. Again, both off John Rogan. I'm not watching Tim Ferriss one. But anyway, so it allowed me to really measure, because the bags you get, I can't remember if they're half-litre bags. You can measure
they're a size,
Yeah, they're a definite size. But it's it's a while ago now since I had it all reversed. Yeah. Here's the other interesting thing.
They can reconnect up the intestines and the.
Well, obviously that has happened, but
happened to one of the friends of family.
Funny thing is, like, my arsehole is not in use anymore. Here's the mad thing: it doesn't even twitch. Like, you get comfy. You're doing whatever you do.
Yeah, and then you can have muscle control.
it doesn't exist anymore. Like, it's the weirdest thing in the world.
The body
like,
just went, I don't need this.
I don't need this. It's done with for a time. Yet, here's the interesting thing. Like, you kind of, like, your large intestine, which have been bypassed, still produces certain gases and certain fats.
Yeah.
So every now and again, you'll still have a shit, but it's like a white shit of just like fat. You know, and that's
one of the old white dog shits that you see on.
No. They were made of like.
Is it you? Are you the one? You're the one who bring them back.
Weirdly, they were made of bone, and that's something I found out this weekend, which somehow popped up. But because we used to feed our dogs bones, and now we don't so much anymore. So anyway, whether that's a fact or not, who knows? But.
Please comment below.
This experience for me was very, very, very visceral. It was very real. It was very scary. Although I see the funny side and I see the value of it. It was. I mean, even at the time, I tell you what though, when it come to the day before the operation, I fucking freaked out. Like I full on had a freak out because they woke me up. Right. I don't get hospitals and the way they run. They woke me up at like 1 a.m. The anaesthetist woke me up at 1 a.m. Alright, so I've come to tell you that you're now having an epidural and we need to teach you how to have it because it's going to be painful. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we'd agreed how we're going to do this. Yeah. You're not going to wake me up in the middle of the night.
So now that I've got sleep and now I'm anxious.
Hug a pillow while you inject my spine with an epidural. Right? And I freaking locked myself in the waiting room and I was in a right state. And they had to get the surgeon to come in. They got my mum to come in to calm me down. I was just like... Because they messed me around left, right and centre with so much, and I had so much of a bad experience in trying to deal with my Crohn's up until this point. This is really, you know, fear will fuel a man to find a way out.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, right, we'll do it the normal way, the way we said, so just intravenous.
Yeah.
But it will be harder for you after the operation. I was like, bring it on. Right?
Yeah, fine, I can deal with that.
That was my attitude, because that's what we agreed. And I've had to get over my fear of injections, my fear of blood being taken. And I no longer have any of these fears. You know, it's still a little bit of an adrenaline rush, but I quite enjoy it. You know, it's more like an extreme sport than it is conquering a phobia.
Yeah.
My phobia would be at the point where if I was to think about it, I would cry at the thought of these things. But you know, I'm a lot more anti-fragile now. Yeah. You know, I'm very proud of that. We should do badges, t-shirts.
One of the treatment techniques, though, if you've got a problem with those sort of fears, etc., is just get slowly closer to it.
I had no fucking choice. There was no slowly closer.
Sink or swim sometimes.
This guy's dying. Right, cannula, boom. So I've had cannulas in and out. I mean, left, right, and centre, everywhere, everything. Bring it on. So anyway, I had me freak out there. I woke up to a new life, and I did not expect how different my life was going to be.
And it's just one
after the operation. Like, so I go from, even though I'm shitting out of my dick and whatever else, right? I go from quite sprightly and active, to I can't move and now I'm in the most amount of pain you can ever imagine. I can't move. I'm in a bed. I'm on my back. I've got tubes sticking out of me. Sticking out of here, sticking out of there, sticking up this. I've got a catheter deep, like
all the way in the bladder,
hanging, like horrible. I've got my guts are in a bag. I did not know really what to expect with that. I mean, I'd seen pictures. I've been briefed.
But that's
the
different
briefing is nothing in comparison. And
you've got this thing outside your body that's attached to you that's fundamental to your body,
and it's alive.
Yeah,
it's alive. So it's going. And it's just like
you suddenly had something implanted into you, basically.
I can't laugh. I can't cry. Because I have been cut like full on open surgery, major open surgery, and you know I've just been stitched back up again. You know I can't laugh. You can't imagine the pain. You know the pain. I can't laugh. I can't cry. I can't move. You know and. For weeks I went through this. I've got nurses that now my stoma nurse. I had a little bit of a crush on my stoma nurse actually as well. So my nurse specialist that dealt just with the bag. She taught me how to do all this, and I listened. Now when one of the normal ward nurses came over to do it, I tell you what, you can imagine with my job that I'm I've got a low tolerance for mistake on such a microscopic level just because of the nature of my job and the nature of my hobby. You know, that's just a fact. And I'm watching this nurse essentially just get close to butchering me, and I'm just like, you need to stop. Because this stoma constantly was spewing out.
Yeah.
Right? So it's spewing out shit. You take the bag off and it's spewing
then it's
shit.
just going in the
stomach
gaps
acid.
and,
It's going into my wound, and I'm saying, you're getting stomach acid and shit in my wound. And she's like, no, it's fine. No, it's not fine.
No, that's not fine. Fuck off.
No, it's not fine. And not only that, so
that's why people die of sepsis.
when you've got a stoma, so there's still stomach acid there with an ileostomy, and it is acid. If it gets on your skin, it will start to digest.
It's high concentration, low pH. It's going to be actual.
So
process.
if you cut the hole, because you have to manually cut the hole to fit, it's not just a one size fits all deal. All right. So, and she's cutting this hole, and it looks like the fucking sarlacc. Honestly, it's got jagged edges and everything, and it's much too big to fit on me. And my stomach's squirt. This is literally yellow bile at this point, because your body takes time to adjust.
Yeah.
I have to apologise to anybody listening to this, actually. If you're about to go through this, I'm painting quite a horrific story. It is a gift. I've got to say this, like, I'm on the other side of it, and going through it. If I had to go through it again, bring it on. And I genuinely mean that. Like, bring it on, because I know I can do it. I know I can nail it. And if I can do it, not being anybody special, so can everyone else. So get stuck in. Go and do it.
Yeah.
Like, go and do it. If you're in a position where you need this operation, get in. If you can avoid the operation, do that.
Do everything you can to avoid it, but don't be...
Yeah, don't be scared of it. Get stuck in, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was, from that moment on, I made sure... Yeah, even though I couldn't move, even though I couldn't emote, I could emote, but I really had to keep it physically
stationary.
Yeah. Which was a struggle.
Very difficult for you,
Yeah. So, from that moment on, I learned to change all my dressings on my own.
Yeah.
I learned to change my bag on my own. I learned everything about as much as whatever people needed to do to me in that hospital. I learned, and I did it myself. And what that does is it does a couple of things. It gives you control.
Yep.
All right. But it also keeps you active.
Yeah.
And engaged. Because when you can't move, you can't go anywhere. You can't walk. You're gonna get stir crazy pretty quick, and you become your own little playground.
It sounds like the sort of situation that people like in Vietnam prisoner of war camps and people that were stuck in these sort of similar scenarios where you are trapped in your body, essentially.
Yeah.
Because you were a prisoner.
Yeah.
I had to just
learn
one
to sleep
form
on
or
my
another.
back. It's not a nice thing if you can't roll over and get comfy.
Yeah.
The hospital ward was too hot. The blankets were everything about the hospital. And now, again, I was looked after so well by some of the nurses there. And some of them were a little bit nightmarish as well, having said that. But the point is it put me in a position where I learned to take control of everything. And that is a valuable gift.
Control and ownership.
Ownership, is a great word. And I came away. You see how big that scar is. It's no small deal. And I took all that knowledge away with me. I took that knowledge of the pain away with me. I took the knowledge of how morphine works and why morphine, which I was quite stubborn with in the beginning. So anyway, right, I'm going to fast forward because I know I'm doing loads of talking here at you. I apologise for that.
I think it's important though.
Thank you. So what I started to find was there was certain foods that really reacted really well with the body, and these were low fat, generally high carb, so potatoes, sweet potatoes, bananas. They really started to help slow movements through me down. And with a slower movement, then what you're going to get is, you're going to get more time in your gut for more absorption. Yeah. So if you create something slower moving and then eat something that might be a little less good for you, and then it's going to have a pace car
Yeah, and it also means it's less likely to cause damage on the way through, because if you're
absolutely
racing through, then...
Well, I tell you what, right? To get a little bit more graphic and in detail, and I really must, because it's about helping people, and people understanding the truth about what I'm going through. So for me to keep my iron levels up is actually tricky. For me to keep my B12 levels up is very tricky. And any other Crohn's or IBS or colitis sufferer will probably have similar ordeals.
I think it damages the villi, the microvilli. So
so that's lectins and gluten. That on top of your immune system trying to deal with whatever it's trying to deal with. And I'll be honest, I think it's a contaminant is what your body is dealing with, not an overactive immune system. And I went through this with my consultant as well. I'll corner that fucker.
That sounds like also like a connection to the whole carnivore diet. Michaela Peterson, for example.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a different process, but the same principle.
Well, I mean, you've got to look at your history and your family history and find where contaminants may have been passed down to you as well. But personally, it's brush licking for me.
Yeah, that'd be the one.
I am a pious non-brush licker. As much as people can disagree with me all they want, I actually, I'm no longer a brush licker, and I've got a much improved diet. I also got tested, by the way, by a doctor, an independent doctor, a private doctor. I got tested, and the result was antimony.
I'm not sure if that one was.
So what antimony is in fire retardants, and guess what? Paint. Yay! So antimony is what was causing skin issues and gut issues.
It might have also come from like the earlier paints as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it
doesn't matter, even if it's in 0.0001%, the amount of time you're painting.
Now, I've seen this frigging... People go on about, paint's toxic. It's fuck toxic. It's not about toxic. It's fucking plastic, whether it's toxic or not. And in the case of metallics...
It's little shards of metal.
Yeah, get fucking real, right?
We're not talking about iron either.
No, we're not talking iron. We're talking bad shit.
We're talking heavy metals.
We're talking bad shit, alright? The next thing we're talking is...
And also, normal iron isn't the same as heme iron as well.
Talking dirty water.
Yeah. And tap water, and the interactions...
How many gobs have been in that water in a Games Workshop?
And that's how you get diseases and little things, immunocompromised.
So, now, I used to be the arrogant little fecker, like, immune system nice and strong. No, man. No, not at all. Don't put that shit in you. Yeah. Don't. Now, there was a blog post going around recently that, is model paint toxic now? Oh, no, it's not. These tests prove it. No, bullshit. Don't put that stuff in you and don't believe that.
There's no point of risking it.
That's
the simplest. That's the easiest simplest. Is this, do I need to put this in my body? No. Well, don't then.
Well, see, let me give you a practical reason why a painter, for at least why I used to be a brush licker, other than me ego.
To get the point.
It's not just to get a point, but also the viscosity of spit makes paint behave in a very particular way. Mm-hmm. It gives it a weird stretchiness and allows you to do certain things, and it's a lot harder to do those things with water than it is with spit or another kind of medium.
So what you're saying is you want artificial spit so that you
but there's nothing that compares to spit in the way it behaves, but spit can also react with different paints in different ways, making it clot in different ways as well.
We should do lots of different scientific studies on different saliva.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but here's an interesting thing. Since becoming a non-brush licker, I've got better at painting because using water is harder, and I've got used to using water, so I am now a better painter.
Because you had to use that skill.
Yeah, I had to adapt. And I don't use a wet palette. I don't use, it's paint, it's dry palette, it's model, it's water. And I use my jeans to measure the amount of water, just as a... Which, weirdly, I don't have paint all over my jeans either. It's just...
They're water-based, aren't they, also?
Well, not once it's dry, so this is for any painters out there. Wash your brush often. That's a real great piece of advice. But anyway, so here I am, however much longer later. I dropped down to 60 kilograms. That's how heavy I was, which is not a lot. It's
which is a little bit more than I'm trying to lose.
It's probably the way of your leg, mate. I was skinny, you know, my thighs were like that.
Well, it's literally a third of my body weight.
I might even gone into the 50s. I can't exactly remember. However fucking small I was. I'm now 72, 74, you know, and most of that's muscle. Mainly from doing press ups, roller derby, and mainly through a raw vegan diet. You know, if you talk to most fucking armchair nutritionists, that's not possible, but I'm living proof that it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible, you know, and how do I supplement other things? Well, in fact, it is an instance where I used my own science to combat my consultant's assumptions. So, the consultant would say, you have these conditions in your body, therefore you have to have intravenous B12 injections every 3 months for life.
Did they check your B12?
Yeah, they checked my B12 levels. Obviously, that's how they know it's low and blah blah. And I said, well,
do they keep on checking them every so often?
No, I make sure I do that.
There's the different point.
I do my own bloods with my own GP on a regular basis, right? But I also do it with an experiment. So here's the B12 experiment I did. So the B12 experiment was get intravenous B12 injections, as my consultant said.
Yeah.
See my B12 rise. Great. What I'll do now is I'll stop them and see if...
Does it decrease?
See if it decreases with the current diet I'm on. It did decrease.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'll now do is, because I know it's decreased and because I can feel it decreasing as well, like we need deficient in B12. It's not nice. What I'll do is I'll get an oral supplement because there's different types of B12.
Yeah.
There's at least 3. I ain't going... Whatever psychobalm
there's
methyl psychobalmine, I can't remember them all, but there's 3 different types. And you can get them in solid form or liquid form or whatever. You can get them in vegan and you can get them in non-vegan type. Blah.
Yeah.
So the experiment is, can I use an oral supplement?
Instead of getting these injections?
Now, my consultant says, no, it's not going to work. Well, you'd never guess what happened with the oral supplement.
You could. Do you know what the better response is? I don't think it will work. According to this,
it worked. It worked. You know, and the point is, you know, the consultant. Now, I have to be clear again. I actually love my consultant. He's a real great guy, and he really means well, and he's doing the best with what he's got and what he's allowed to do.
Yeah.
And he's also the best doctor I've been able to communicate with, and he has allowed me, without judgment, to do my own health how I want, and he's been there as an advisor if I need him. So he is great. As much as I have an axe to grind about whatever process is, you know, that's my axe to grind, and it's not aimed at him. It's very much aimed at what he is and isn't allowed to do.
His constraints.
Yeah, he's probably got a lot of constraints. He's probably got a lot of his own.
And honestly, he's got to avoid being sued.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely. So whatever obligations he's got to himself and others, that, you know, he has to honour them, and that's his journey. And my health is my responsibility, not his.
But there's a very interesting point there. You say it there. Right, it's my responsibility to do this.
Yeah.
Which goes back to everything else.
So, and if I hadn't took that, I'd be having B12 injections. And how are you meant to travel the world if you're stuck to B12 injections every...
Yeah, because where are you going to get them from? And
correct. So it turns out that my body can absorb orally B12.
Great, that's the injections off then.
Exactly. So
you can just carry them around with you now and then.
Yeah, I absolutely do. And you know, the same applies with iron supplements. So what's one of the best iron supplements you can get? Spirulina. Absolutely. If you're cold all the time, this is for anyone out there. If you feel cold all the time, you don't sleep very well, yet you're always tired, chances are you're low in B12, iron, zinc, vitamin D, maybe vitamin C as well. Get a supplement for those. And spirulina is great. It's also really high in protein. Again, I don't know if you want to find some facts and figures and chuck them on the screen or whatever, but you know, it'd be worth it. But you know, spirulina is mega, and that's like a weird green algae.
Yeah.
And I have it in a smoothie.
I think it's quite an important one to notice that it's different from a plant. Algae being different from a plant.
How so?
They're similar, but they're slightly different makeup. And I can't go through the whole things off of my head.
As long as it's not an animal.
No.
So the vegans aren't freaked out.
No, not that it's an animal, but it's got a different structure. That's an important different matter.
So it's blue-green algae, and it's just great. It tastes a bit funky at first, so I'd mix it with something you really like. It literally tastes like when you're younger, you play near like stagnant water.
Yeah.
It's like pond milk. That's literally how it smells. However,
just think you're in Harry Potter.
It's really good for you.
But there's actually a theory behind that one. You want bad tasting medicine because then you feel like you're taking medicine.
I think that's placebo.
Yeah, why do you don't want something that tastes good as medicine because it's like.
Well, here's an interesting
that's the problem
thing.
with alcohol.
Here's an interesting thing. A lot of the this is why I like the diet that I've got. Although I'd rather be back on cornflakes and.
You'd like those bits implemented in it.
All the things I've got since exploring a plant-based diet, though I'm not fully plant-based, but exploring a plant-based diet, have all been, quite frankly, taste sensations. I've learned to cook new things, I've learned to explore new things, and the amount of veggies and the options available in a vegetable category far outweigh those.
Now that you can get them from everywhere else around the world, it's amazing the stuff you can get.
And it's fantastic.
And should I say, actually, coming from just as a quick point on the other side about changing of taste palettes, I don't generally use sauces anymore. You've known in my past, if you knew before, the bit of ketchup. I do have sauces, I do have chilli and garlic and this sort of stuff, but I used to do slams of mayonnaise, slams of ketchup, and so on and so forth. But now I quite enjoy the actual food that I'm actually eating, that I don't need this.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I need to make it taste better because I've got this sauce with it. And I don't mean, add some seasoning to it.
Yeah.
But just enjoying the actual taste of what I'm eating.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, one of the best things I actually make is just a baked potato, whether it be sweet potato or normal potato or both, salad. And I tell you what, it's mega. It's just leaves. But yeah, you're right about the way your palate changes and having faith in that. So one thing I started having was celery juice every morning, juice an entire head of celery to a pint of celery juice. Now at first, if you ask me what vegetable was top of my list for fucking minging, celery is it. Now I'm about to drink a pint of that shit. Horrible. Right, and it used to make me gip. Now, I look forward to it. I'm like, I tell you what, boosh, let's get that in me.
You have to do something about.
Full of celery,
You actually have to do that about those sort of thing about 20 times before.
Yeah. Before it becomes normal. So have faith, but also
which is quite important in my day 27 of my diet and so on and so forth.
Okay, right, yeah.
Once again, they're starting to get to that stage where it starts becoming a routine.
So the thing with celery juice, or the thing with all the foods that I started to eat, is they all had practical benefits as well as just taste benefits. And that actually is an empowering thought, because not only am I just eating a vast variety of things keeping me entertained, but also every single one of those things was targeted to do a very particular job within my body. Yeah. And again, I'd give you some great... In fact, I'm going to...
Yeah. But no, I think that's an important one. You've got to listen to your body, what it actually wants. And one of the problems that we actually have...
Well, that's hard when you've got habits. My body needs a cigarette, or my body needs toast, and it's hard.
There's the separation, though, between what your mind wants and what your body wants.
Some people they're not as experienced in...
Yeah, that's me as well. That's me. Like I said, that's me as well, because, of course, remember, last year, I said... Gave up all smoking and all tobacco-based products. Not one I should perfectly. Now, I wasn't a 20 a day, etc., or anything like that. Although I did get addicted to snuff, which is powdered tobacco, and that was a major problem because I could have it anywhere. It's like people who were smoking and then went on to e-cigarettes and vapes, and it's like now you can do it anywhere. So now it means that you can do it anywhere again, and the problem there. But it's that mental capacity of what is it controlling? Why am I doing it?
In fact, I'm going to stop you on that exact phrase, why are you doing it? Let me just tell everyone why this is here. So I set this desk up with a bunch of, I called them totems to Christian over the phone. Like, I set this desk up with a bunch of my own achievements, or things I want to achieve, or things that inspire me. I always love dinosaurs. Who just doesn't want a T-Rex skull on the table? It's plastic, but whatever, I've got my Steve.
I'd argue how you got a small one if that was a real one.
I got them when they were young, you know. I've got a Wing Chun book, I've got a Space Wolf book, I've got me John Blanche cards, I've got my Golden Demon. You know, this is Dan Aykroyd's vodka, which was a gift for doing certain nice things for certain people. I've got the Ice King who I used to see myself as, and I've got a little Buddha there. I'd love to go travelling and own a camper van to live in, and you know, just some things that inspire me. I quite enjoy old computer games, and I asked Christian to bring his own totem.
I forgot to bring some. I was going to bring another one. I forgot about it. That'll be next time.
Okay, so you know, and he brought the pipe, which actually surprised me that you brought something you could perceive as negative. And my first thoughts were, do you know what? I can already feel the fucking from it. Like, but this is for you, not for me.
Yeah.
So now what you're doing is telling people why you brought a pipe, why you brought why you're using something that's potentially negative as a positive influence.
And the other thing about it as well is, think about the situation if you were out and how many people I did meet because I smoked a pipe.
I thought it was weird when I first saw you smoking a pipe, but
yeah, it's weird.
That was when I didn't really know you that well.
But there was also quite a number of different occasions that thought I was cool in a cool way, in the sense of like, well, he's smoking a pipe and he doesn't care what other people think.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of people who knew me for smoking a pipe for being weird in that regard.
You talk about maybe even pretentious smoking a pipe.
Well, that would come up almost every night about it, but then I wasn't doing it for that. I suppose because I enjoyed it, and then it kind of got to a point. I can't remember my exact reason why I gave up smoking pipe.
Why did you enjoy it, by the way?
Well, it was the
running out.
Relaxing nature of nicotine, stress. Because this is one of the things you don't realise, that a lot of the time with smoking, like an actual cigarette, some people would be controlling their breathing, but with a pipe, I was actually controlling my breathing. Which sounds really, really counterproductive.
It does, because you're talking to an ex-smoker as well. So.
But with my pipe, I was controlling my breathing, relaxing.
But you do all that with a cigarette.
Yeah, but I can't personally talk about cigarettes. I never smoke cigarettes.
Right, so there you go. Well, you can do all that with a cigarette.
Yeah.
You know, you do what you want.
But it was also partially the fact that I was using it as a social crutch. In some regard.
In what way? Go on, talk to me.
Because
I'm interested in crutches very much.
Because one of the things I do, for example, going out to a nightclub or whatever, you don't really talk to people, and particularly I was smoking at a time where I wasn't feeling as confident about myself in general anyway. Because although everyone around me would see me as a confident, charismatic person, I didn't believe it.
You're a beautiful individual, Christian.
I don't need you to tell me that.
No, you don't. Don't
but that's the difference. And that was a way of interacting with people, because people would then come over to me.
I got you.
And
an icebreaker is what you're calling it.
Yeah. And it also gave that moment of a little bit of confrontation on occasion.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh, my potential, it's like, I don't care what you think.
You know, I used to have dreams about smoking a pipe. Honestly.
But that was the other problem as well.
I always wanted to do it, yeah.
It kind of felt natural at one point in time, and people go, oh, you look good with it. It's like, yeah, and so on and so forth. And then I'm shifting away from it just because the universe told me, and this is the stupid thing.
Nothing stupid.
I was sitting there. Well, if it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid.
Yeah. Like clowns.
There's a difference between, like, take Lord of the Rings for the moment of throwing Gimli, right?
Yeah.
Throwing the dwarf. It's like, this is a really stupid idea, but if it works, it's damn heroic.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But it was a situation where I got some new tobacco for it, and I was already sort of controlling what I was going. And I went out on Friday night and was with the fresh pack, etc. Then the next day, I'd sort of like go get the bag from where I got it from. Couldn't find it, and I was like, I just spent, plus the money side of it, I was like, I spent 12 quid, etc. on this 50 grams of tobacco, and it's gone. So I was like, that's total bullshit. And it's like, the universe kind of said it. It's like, well, I was sort of kind of thinking about like giving it up anyway, so I just went,
No,
fine. Let's roll with this. See what happens.
All right, cool.
But that wasn't how I gave up nicotine in general, because I was still doing stuff which is the powdered tobacco.
Yeah.
I had a major problem with that one because it combined a kind of two addictions. I'm really vulnerable to menthol. Like, I really like menthol.
Right, okay.
And the snuff that I had was particularly menthol, and it had an element of caffeine to it. I think it had some in it. So it would wake you up, and it was just like blasted straight in the face. And I was using that as a crutch to basically, instead of caffeine, to keep myself awake.
Oh, it sounds like a dirty fucking habit, that.
Well, what's worse about it is...
Colour was your snot?
Well, it was brown.
Fuck.
But there's the thing, you're sitting there going, oh... And then it was only until... But then, when it's your crutch, and you think that's the thing that's holding it... And once again, still people kept on talking about it, even if it did have an element of possible confrontation, etc., of what bouncers, etc., thought, and...
Yeah.
But it was a talking point and so on and so forth, and it was still an element of social crutch. And it was only until, like, this was part of my development, like, last year, when I was like, I'm a slave to this. Because the point when I didn't have it on me...
That's an empowering thought.
And I'd always do it. Like, when I was, like, actually addicted to it, etc., I would do it, for example, in the toilet, so that I wouldn't be paying attention, which then actually looks more dodgy, and I knew it looked more dodgy. Because it's like, oh, well, you hear that in the toilet, and then people go down that rabbit hole. But then there was a point where I didn't have it on me, and I'm like, I could really do with it right now. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't have that so much with the pipe. Sometimes. Maybe once or twice. But, like, without the snuff, there was a point where I was going, I really could do with it. And I can't just go to a shop and get it. That's not... It's not a common... You have to be a tobacco... Yeah.
You got to know where to get it, haven't you, as well, you know.
From a tobacconist, etc., or order it, and so on.
Yeah.
And that was the point where it's starting to get to me. It's like, you're saying that you need this to function. Yeah. That power is just like... And and it's not even being... And the suction noise is the wrong word. It's not that. It's going, here you go, have it.
Yeah.
And there was an important point that it was in the Stoics. I was reading some of the Stoics, and part of the stuff from Jordan Peterson, even though it was before his book came out. And so I think this idea of reducing the things that you're slaves to. So,
that is a really interesting concept. That,
and this is actually
I'm
what
up for that. I'm a slave to something,
and I wanted to reduce that as much as possible.
Yeah.
It actually comes to the point, and this might seem as a controversial one, is when Kanye West said the bit about African Americans still being slaves. Like, he said it incredibly badly, and I'm not denying that one. But the principle there, I understand what he's on about, is the sense of we can all, and he's trying to get the Stoic principle across, which is we're slaves to our own minds.
Yeah. And it's programmings, assumptions, and, upbringings. Nurture is the word.
Yeah,
and if you don't understand your own nurture, then you are a slave to it. Without
and if you're not controlling it, someone else will, or something else will.
Yeah, something is trying to control your nurture all the time. You know, whether it be yourself or your parents at some point, you are in control of your own nurture by your own habits. You reinforce them every day, or you try and replace them with something new. But TV. You know, it's
anything.
It is anything.
You need to say is
you need to be careful about what you watch on television and what you're showing kids and blah blah blah. And the example you're setting as well. This would be an anti-fragile thing as well. Yeah,
but I think the point is anything can be a. You can be a slave to anything, and I think that's an important thing you have to remember. Can be. Well, like I said, anything that's an addiction is the easiest, obvious one.
Yeah.
Because
you are addicted to doing this every minute.
And there is the difference there of where you can be a slave to an issue. Like, you chose not to be a slave to the medical system or your conditions and so on and so forth. Now, that doesn't mean you're not suffering from them.
No, it's a 24-hour struggle, if I'm honest.
But instead of...
And I fight, and I enjoy the fight. It gets on top of me sometimes.
And instead of it controlling you, you're going... I'm coming back at you. I'm going to have some control of these reins.
I have full control of the reins.
Yeah.
That's the point. That the other thing doesn't have control of the reins at all. it's only if I let go of the reins does it begin to control my life. But the reins are in my hand, and they come in mindset, diet, the company I hold, the things I feel reminded on.
Company's a very important one, which I'll come back to.
You need a good circle of people who are on side, or at least very little and not an anchor to you reaching your goals. Personally,
I've been having that quite a bit in the case of thinking about those people around me. For example, there's
and if those people are true friends, they'll wish you well on your journey.
Well,
and allow you to say goodbye, and if they're not, they'll treat you like
the irony is they're probably not even going to listen to this anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. But
some people are on board with this. There's people talking to me about pledges already. They want their pledge on the wall.
That's good. I'm glad it's coming from your side, because you've got a bigger outreach than I do.
I do my best to share this. I'd like it to be better and more and blah blah blah, but we'll see.
I
can share every.
I said we do actually want people to put stuff on here. I'll get a cork board.
Okay, yeah, I'm up for that.
Because then we can make it a little bit more.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, if people were involved, it would definitely fuel me to reach my goals more. And it's like I've always looked at life as it's very much a spiral. It's not a circle. It's a spiral. You're either spiraling up or you're spiraling down. Yeah. And you will repeat things in your life, but you'll either repeat them better or you'll repeat.
Are you moving up or down the donut?
Yeah, exactly right. And when you're part of a circle of people that want you to succeed, I want every fucking person to succeed.
It's the whole point of group therapy.
I really do. I want to see you win. It lets me know that I can win. Yeah. And if I get to the point where I'm your size and shape, I'll know I can come back from that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get up to whatever way. And I could let myself go or I could let myself go and waste away and be a skeleton again.
But that's even more. It's like if my goal, etc., and if anyone, one person at any point in time, suddenly even better or worse condition than I am, goes, hold on, how did they did that? They don't seem to be absolutely destroying themselves, which I'm not at all. Like, there are no things of like, oh, you've ran this ridiculous marathon or anything else. Like, no, I haven't done that. And if that's one person who decides on that situation, I'm not running a marathon, piss off.
We're back on pledges, aren't we? So we're going to finish writing our pledges. You can get them on the wall, man. Let's do it.
And it's, like I said, if you just help one person, that's enough.
Absolutely.
And you just go for a slight increase.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm doing a slight increase.
But yeah, it's like if I can do it by this way, then other people can. That's one thing. Although I would say that this is still just for myself. And then everything from there is...
It is for you, yeah.
Everything else is a bonus.
It is a bonus. It is, but as long as we're constantly setting a good example, and the with other people being involved, the bit for you is, they're behind you.
Extra accountability and extra support.
Accountability, absolutely. Yeah. Accountability is so much better than responsibility.
Yeah.
You could say,
Well, because responsibility, you can argue about fault and everything else.
You can always ignore responsibility, but accountability is coming to get you.
Because essentially you can end up looking at that wall and just going, why is everyone else doing stuff and I'm not? And if you are in a situation that, like I said, I'm judging up some of the people I keep around me, I'm judging about their value. And actually, I have to tell you, the people that made the largest effect on that is like, you go out on one night, and I talk about going out on one night, and they would get drunk and depressed and whatever, mix and match, etc. Yeah. And then there's the swap, and that includes me, because if anyone ever feeling down, just look at my Facebook post from 2013 or so. Wednesday mornings were brilliant for a free bar, but it was the point wherever it was you, Rob, and possibly some others out, etc. It's like, oh well, that one night's like Friday, it's been a bit of a drag, etc. And then it's like, oh, Rob's up in town. Okay, that means we're definitely all going out. And then it's like, yeah, great, and it's an amazing night, even though knackered and ridiculous stuff.
Then nights out with Bob, and I also have a mate called Steve, who's a wonderful, wonderful frigging person who I don't see enough now because he had to move away. But yeah, those nights out with you and Bob, they're just freaking priceless, because I don't have nights out like that with other people.
And you just
really don't.
You feel that, like the last one.
It's about fuel, innit? Bob fuels you.
Yeah, he's got the energy, but at the same time, he believes in you to do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just encouraging, whether it be a game of pool or around the frigging drinks.
Yeah.
Like, I could literally go all night and all the next day. And you might consider me a non-drinker. I might drink maybe 3 times a year, but I tell you what, if somebody comes out with us, you'll get sucked along with it, and you'll suddenly realise that your tolerance for alcohol is through the roof all of a sudden. Where the energy comes from. But all night, there's not been a time we've been out to Bob, I haven't seen daylight the next day.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I mean, like, top tips, by the way, for nights out. Go to a casino if you just want
I get tea and toast.
Free tea and toast. You get a rest, and you sit and watch TV, which is generally some kind of sports. It's free, and you've got to maybe fill in a form or what have you. Frisk by bounce. But yeah, downstairs, tea and toast on a night out, all night. Okay. Yeah. Don't go gambling though. We don't do that. We literally just go and pilfer him for a brew and toast.
But it's even that one is the combination of then sometimes we get mixed up with some acquaintances that I know on the normal night out, and we like the occasional time where we end up in like Satan's or whatever, and then it's like your phrase on someone who I'm not going to name nonetheless. Every time they're out, they're always angry or upset about something.
About nothing.
And it's always nothing.
About nothing. Yeah.
And it's absolutely. Just like every time it's like, well, great, this is going to happen, isn't it?
It is going to happen. But absolute lovely person, blah blah. But when that switch goes, and it is a switch.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the point?
Everything's a drama for no reason. And the unfortunate thing is that doesn't affect the the direction that is that.
Yeah.
It's doesn't affect the target of the frustrations. It doesn't affect the target of whatever negative emotions you're going through. That person might need to go through these things, but what it does do is definitely brings himself down. It definitely brings the group around you down.
It starts that negative CBT spiral of bad emotions, bad behaviour, bad
absolutely.
thoughts.
And I suppose the thoughts is because I have been there.
Mm-hmm.
This is me on other nights out at Rock World or whatever, where I'm with a different group of people, where I'm not feeling it. Yeah, it is everyone else's fault, and it might be, it might be the guy that bumped into you accidentally. It wasn't accidental. It might be the girl that was a little bit nasty to you. She's fucking minging anyway. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of attitude, and it absolutely is counterproductive. And,
it just breeds contempt.
But the crap thing is when you feel like that, so show a little bit of empathy through experience. Yeah. What you do is you either stay and fester in it, because it's a struggle to get out of it. You either stay and fester in it, or you go home and fester in it. Neither are good. And this is why you need a great group of friends around you.
Yeah, and sometimes just need to batter into them to... Because it's a very difficult one, because all the options that are available to you generally don't seem obvious. Because, like I said, option 1, stay there, get more drunk. If that's your goal, that's not going to help the situation.
Oh, is it?
Option 2, get something to eat or whatever and just go home in a strop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even a mope.
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
Option 2, which is a common one that here's particularly about the person we're talking about, you get the intention that this is coming, is the idea of wanting a fight, which once again still doesn't solve anything whatsoever.
And it never happens.
Never happens either, which is comical in its own regard. And then it's like, so what is the easy option to get you
to enjoy
in a positive spiral?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Or halt the spiral.
It's hard to talk about it.
No, even talking about my personal situation, it's like, if you're in that situation, how do you get yourself out of that personal...
Talk about it is the answer. Because I've become a very, very much a big advocate of talking about my problems, and even with strangers, I'll literally just come out and go, look, me dicks, so I'll do it now. Yeah. I honestly don't care, every time I have done it's never failed me to make me feel better, even if it's been turned out to be actually is a serious problem. When I say it to you, it's fucking funny, really.
Yeah.
You know, like fighting.
You just get. Sometimes you need that moment of let's just laugh at the ridiculousness of this.
It is ridiculous, and this is the other thing I do tell myself. Actually, you know, I go, if this was in say Only Fools and Artists, we'd be pissing our pants at this now. Yeah. It's fucking funny. It's funny.
There's a bloke who you're saying your intestine has burned through into your bladder, and now you're shitting out your dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, the little lips on the end of my knob are going. There you go. It's funny. It's funny. Yeah, it was horrific. Yeah, it was painful.
Little kazoo out the end.
Yeah, it was painful. But there's the diamond in the rough, you know. And
it's
in fact, there's the
element of gallows.
The fact that I've shat my pants astronomically in public, and there is one of the greatest stories that I could ever tell anyone. It's fucking brilliant. It's a great tale. But at the end of the day, nobody really wants to shit themselves astronomically in public. You know, nobody really wants to tell anyone about it. But I tell you what, I am game for it. I am absolutely. I'm not gonna right now, unless you push me to. But it's not the point because I've got my claim.
Yeah.
Not my claim, my pledge. So here's my pledge. Count my tea and water.
Yeah.
Daily, what I have. So the way I'm gonna do that. The water is going to be slightly harder to count because I'll have to tally that up. Whereas with the tea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 10 tea bags in my tea bag pot at
and
a
then
time.
You can count when they're done.
Because I actually have quite a lot of tea. Right? It's easy for me to lose count, and then I can count when they're done.
You could do that daily, so you just refill it back up to 10.
That's the point. So I've added that one in. What I've done is I've kept to me one sugar. But what I do is when I get the sugar out, I'm trying to pile it up as much as I can. So now I've called it one sugar small. So now I won't be aspiring to pile that sugar up. And I've kept the lemon water, 50% more lemon water. We still don't necessarily know what that is accurately, but I'm aspiring to drink.
Endeavouring to have one more glass of it more than what you should.
Absolutely. And then for me, my activity pledge, I've done 25 times 3 sets of press ups.
Here's a question: should we do pledges for every week or every other week? Because that might be a better one.
It comes. I'm happy doing mine weekly.
No, I'm just thinking that maybe later on down the line, that might be. I don't know. It was a thought. I don't mind weekly. I think it's good.
Why that thought?
I don't know. Just an idea. If there's more. No, it's not a fear objection. It's more the case of. I don't know if it's like every time we bring it up. It was more of a thought, a brainstorm rather than anything else.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Well, the thing is, like, because if it is an apathy-based reason or something like that, then that, you know, fear disguised as practicality.
I can understand that.
Now it could be practicality in that actually, you know, for you to do my press up challenge in a week is asking a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many press ups you can do. So how many can you?
Not many decent ones.
Do you want to find out?
Fuck it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the toilet first though.
Okay. Well, you do that.
Yeah.
I'll get some water. We'll find out how many press ups you can do. But I tell you what, in a week, regardless of how many you could do, I bet you couldn't up it by 5 like I've done. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. But I'm not doing the Russian press up challenge.
Right. So for you guys that are listening, there's certain sources that really helped me on my little plant-based journey. One is a guy called Anthony William, and he goes under the name Medical Medium on Instagram. I find all the material he gives away for free on his Instagram page just works. Now, he's got a weird background, a weird story. You can investigate that and you can think what you want about it. I did the same. I was like, right, okay. But, you know, I was on my last legs and I thought, right, well, we'll put it to the test. I will do that experiment on myself. And, I got results. That's just that. I got results. And the other one is SimNet Nutrition. There's another page actually I want to talk about in a little bit. But yeah, SimNet Nutrition is a vegan bodybuilder. And that guy gets results with himself. And the proof's in the pudding, innit? You know, and if you want to find out what you're capable of, then you need to find out what you're capable of and be honest with yourself. So you know what some people do is they'll go vegan, and it's like the shittest, most unhealthiest. They're like eating cork, and they go, "Oh, I'm so ill."
I'm just eating bread. It's like
yeah. Don't do that. You know, you've got to do this shit properly.
And I'm gonna also say this right now, like. This is something more known about being like on the carnivore diet, and occasionally, because I'm going to eat things when, if I go out, I'd like to eat what I want to eat. Don't force myself back the other direction. I'm going to make this really clear for anyone dabbling in that regard. Yeah. If you dare touch carbs of anything processed whatsoever, you've got to then up your fibre back up. Like you put that same thing, because otherwise you will get what the stereotypical thing is. If I said that I was eating a heavily meat diet, you assume that I'm going to be constantly constipated, don't you? That's a classic one. But the fact is, if you then put the carbs in there, because you're on a high meat diet, you don't have the fibre, because you don't need the fibre to let the plant material go through. Okay. But now, because you don't have that, it's basically, the machine's not oiled in the same way anymore.
So if you had
bloat, I will promise you right now, the last couple of days it's just bloat, and you can feel it, and it's like, this is.
You see, do you remember early on I said it?
You said about going back.
Well, it's not. Yeah, about concerns about coming back from that, and
But I think that's a connection to just what you should do before going back. I think up your fibre first.
Well, I'll send you a link to. There's this guy called Gojima. Alright, and again, he's a vegan. And I keep going on about veganism, though I'm not vegan. I believe that a balanced diet is kind of the way. Having been through it, I've been like vegan for a long time. I've got great results from being vegan, but I also have great results from adding meat into my diet. So it's almost like, no way, a balanced diet.
I also
who the fuck knew?
I also kind of agree on that one as well. Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm trying out this, and I'm going, I actually feel really good doing it.
You might actually feel really good doing it, but I'm going to pose a question for you, and I'd love for you to explore it. You might feel really good doing that, but are there any other plant-based foods that would A, not compromise how good you feel, and B, might enhance how you feel?
Yes, no, I agree on that one as well.
And, explore those, because I bet you haven't.
No, I haven't. I think I'm going to, my actual count of that one right now is, at this point in time, I'm going to try and keep...
Stay still. I've just done something real minging. It's either snot, cum...
There's a good chance of lemon.
Snot, cum or lemon. Whatever it was...
All the bits of all three.
And whatever it was, I just took that hit for you, by the way.
And the reason why I'm not going to try and do that experiment yet is I'm going to do until I get to the weight that I want, and then from there, it's about shifting the diet to being... the best it can be, if that makes sense.
As broad as it can be, or is not balanced?
Back to as balanced diet as possible.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Again, I mean, what the fuck do I know? Carnivore or keto diet might be the way, but we don't know. We don't know.
I'm going to say right back to that one, I doubt it.
I'm inclined to say I doubt it. And it's the same with veganism as well, because vegans still need to take certain supplements, and even the best vegans still need to, so there's stuff missing.
I've decided on what I'm going to do afterwards, is after I've reached this as a strict diet, because it's working, I don't have the cravings for sugar or any of that sort of thing, so it's working in that regard, and if it is for this weight loss, and after that, I can experiment, is that the one thing I am going to make sure that I don't touch anymore again, because it's not worth it, is processed food as best I can.
Oh, it's minging. Yeah, processed food.
It's just like minging, that, and also there's...
I learned that early on.
I wanted to try something, but when I've got my weight controlled in a much better way, I want to go, for example, is actually go... They keep on talking about this paleo diet while they eat steak. It's like, what cow was around at that time?
I've got a paleo cookbook there if you want it.
I've got a keto cookbook.
Okay, well, I've got a vegan cookbook.
I've got a Hannibal cookbook.
I've got my own cookbook. I haven't really.
But the point from there is, like, for example, I want to trying something that tribesmen do, which is things like insects, which are extremely nutritious for what they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
And
I've got a mate who's interested in doing some
but also
recipes.
it's actually one of the times where you can do your own farming. Because you can buy crickets, can't you?
Yes, you can.
And then you can grow them all.
Crickets are minging, you know. I used to have bearded dragons in here, and they get out and they live for freaking ever. They're crawling around your house.
But
You don't know they've got out.
No, I'm using crickets as an example rather than anything else. But I think that would be an interesting experiment to do after I've got to like this weight. And it's like, let's find a little bit more of a nutritious, like. Actually, because I think there should be a more hunter-gatherer approach to it, so to speak.
I mean, there's not wrong with a scientific approach as a man like me and you are possibly doing. I think that's a better way. Instead of saying, "Oh, it's got to be like a cave," or what we only assume we know what.
Oh no, but
we know what we can do,
yeah.
and we know we can observe results. You know, so I'd like it.
Plus, I'd quite like to be able to sort of do my own farming without.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without being reliant on something else.
So I want to tell you why I mentioned this Goji Man fella. So this Goji Man fella is a vegan nutritionist. He's doing a master's or a PhD in nutrition. So again, he's got letters after his name.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. You know.
You can get a PhD in romantic comedies.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get. Really, you can get. Do you know what? There's all sorts of crap things you can get friggin' qualifications, but whatever. Right?
Anyway,
so this guy he breaks down the experience from his educational point of view. He breaks down the experience of Jordan Peterson and Jordan's daughter, and he says he talks about the problems. He talks about how and why they experience the things they experience, whether they be positive or negative, and he tells you the reasons why, and hopefully then how to come back from that. So there's some material for you to keep ready for yourself, you know, because it's fucking useful. And the thing is, he goes on a lot about his oxalates, and I can't exactly remember why. I just remember watching the video and thinking about you, you know. So oxalates, whatever that means. But I'll send you a link.
Well, I'm also taking a multivitamin now as well, just because.
Nice one.
Just like, well, why not? What's funnier is I ordered like one and I seem to have got two, so I've got 2 years supply.
Right. Score.
I don't know if I ordered two. If not, it was only 20 quid. So
yeah, I wonder if we had 2 for 1. Hey, what time are we?
9:30.
Alright. So what? We started at 7, didn't we?
About 7. About 5
so we said
7.
about 3 hours, and we said about half an hour waffling left.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. You're going to do a press up?
Yeah.
I'm incredibly interested in this.
See if I slip massively. As long as I'm on the carpet, I'm fine.
Yeah, I bet you could do a foot forward with your arms. Yeah, go for it, mate.
I can't do this.
1, 2. Fucking hell, you're doing it. 3. You must be strong as fuck. 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, 8. I eat with words. 9, 10. Go on, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Fucking brilliant, dude. Oh, he's going again. 16, 17. So I'd stop it at the 15. So when I was doing CrossFit, they do it to your first point of failure. So 15 was that first point.
Yeah, but I wanted to do the extra one.
Yeah, man.
You don't.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Wang me thing on the wall there. There you go, Tommie, played to 2. How did that feel? Have you done press ups before?
Yeah, but not properly. They're part of my DDP.
Alright, okay. So
there's some
something you're working on then, is what I'm saying.
Well, arm strength to an extent. It's more, rather than hold press ups, you have better handwriting than I do.
Yeah, well.
Rather than hold press ups, it's more of hold, move slowly, hold, move up slowly.
Yeah.
Which is, I won't deny, is a killer.
Do you know what? I'm well impressed there. I didn't expect you to do even 2 or 3, if I'm honest, because I've seen slimmer people with you with bigger muscles, like, though they don't necessarily do press-ups ever, like they struggle.
Yeah.
They just fucking struggle.
Well, I said it's more of a case of being easy. I am quite strong for, like, I don't have massive arms, 16 inches.
I tell you what, you say that, you just said 16 inches, let's give people an idea of how my fucking left arm is. Where's my tape measure?
Yeah, so 16 inches, etc. But I'll bring my tape next time so you can measure.
So my left arm, what, tense or relaxed?
Relaxed, out like that.
Relaxed out like that. 10. 10 inches. In fact, I'm going to give you an idea of what that actually looks like. In fact, there's
It probably isn't too bad.
Standard size mug.
Yeah.
Is about.
Yeah, about right.
In fact, it is.
Yeah. So it's a mug.
Standard size mug. So you know, that's the thickness of my left arm, which is obviously smaller than my right arm. And if yours is 16, you know, that's a considerable amount more. No way is that your arm.
Yeah.
That looks well smaller than your arm.
It is.
Where are you measuring?
The middle.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll bring it next time and we can see it.
see, science happening. Yeah.
And that isn't all lean muscle either.
No, I can imagine.
There's a lot more.
By the way, you just had to hike what 6'5"'s worth of fucking
6'4", 150 kilograms. It's mostly doing. It's probably not, but it's effectively in some form about 150 kilogram bench press.
You ever thought about
Powerlifting.
No. I'm getting a little bit critical here, so tell me to rack off if I overstep a mark. Have you thought about doing it on with your toe and your hands on books to accommodate for your range of motion? You can't go down as far as I would, you know. Blah blah blah. Right.
I'm keeping it simple at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious about how you think about yourself, because that's proper intrigued me. Like you smashed out 15.
To tell you what I like there, I've just taken your soul. That tiny little bit, but in a positive way.
Well, I mean, I don't feel good. I do feel encouraged.
It's that moment of not underestimation. It's like you weren't expecting it.
No, I weren't expecting it, and it is an underestimation. It is because I underestimated.
And that's what taking souls is. It's that tiny little bit of underestimation.
Yeah.
And then followed by actual output.
Yeah.
And what actually
the output was mega.
So I tell you what I like as well. I know that my cardio is getting better. So if you actually listen, I'm almost back to talking normally again.
Yeah.
Which is actually a factor of fitness, which I find I'm better at being explosive. But that's even my genetics says that because I've done a 23andMe, and I have power lifted genetics, so to speak. I'm not endurance runner. You might be able to tell, but that doesn't mean I can't do it.
One of my painting students, and he's not built in a way you would stereotypically assume was any kind of athleticism outside of just powerlifting, that type of thing. And he runs Ironman tournament things. And that impresses me, because every time I meet him I just think, man, you just really do not seem the type. And I'd love to get him on my painting channel, actually. I really should do. But he runs Ironmans.
Because it's not Iron Men.
Ironman tournaments, Iron Men's tournaments, Iron People's tournaments, Gingerbread Persons tournaments. And it impresses me, and that was impressive. I'm fucking well up for that. I want to see. What's your pledge? That's really.
It's going to be 20 now, isn't it? It's going to be 20.
Yeah.
Fucking write it down. 20.
You reckon 20 in a week? You're going to get that up to 20 in a week? Or would you like to go for 3 sets of 15? Do you reckon you could do another 2 sets of 15 during the time of this conversation?
I don't know. I can feel the recovering at the moment because I can feel my... How about next time we'll do 20 and then next time after that we'll see. Because if I can do one set of 20 and then... So I can do another set of 15 during or 20 and the...
I've put 20.
Yeah.
You sure, yeah?
Yeah.
Non-stop, no breaks?
Yeah.
Alright. It's in. It's in, mate.
The closest thing I get to a break is staying in plank.
Okay. There we go. C. Do. Right, okay, so that and what about your minimal level of activities every other day?
Well, minimum level activities maintaining anyway still, but
I mean, you're pretty specific about your DDP. Do you want to focus on that instead?
I want to see if I can get that up to...
So, yeah.
Every day bar like...
DDP 6 times a week.
Yeah.
DDP times 6 days. Freaking brilliant. Right, go for us a diet related thing, which is your weight. So you drop 12.
I see. Next week will be...
I'm going to turn my diary on if we're going to decide.
Yeah, it's about the...
Wise.
If we're doing it Monday, it's about the 4th. Which it would be 27 days plus 7, I'm being daft. 34. So, just in case I say I want to be more realistic every time, I think 30 pounds down. So that's 15 kilograms.
Right, okay.
Because then I've already got my plan for next week after that.
Okay, what's that?
Every time
save it till next week.
No, it's going to be... No, because people have said this one, because I've already put the number out today. My chainmail weighs about 15 kilograms.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to weigh it to make sure I find out how much it actually does weigh.
Should we do it on camera again?
No camera. I'll bring my scales. Oh.
Ooh, I quite enjoy this camera. It's good, isn't it? It's empowering.
Like I said, it's accountability.
Yes.
And it means you have to say it out loud, otherwise it never happened. And we know it happened. But no, the 4th, I think.
Next Sunday is free.
We can do that.
Alright, next Sunday, literally 7 days, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, next Sunday, 3rd. I'm going to bang that in my diary.
I've done D before that, but I can literally come from that to here. Oh no, I won't do. No, that's fine, don't worry. It's my own kind of
So you're between today, you're going to lose an extra 15 kilograms.
No. Not an extra 15 kilograms. Down to 30, so total lost.
Right. But, so I'll do write that in a clear way.
12 now, so 35. No, another £10. That's, £7 from now.
So you want to lose...
£1 a day still.
£1 a day?
Yeah.
Why do you
Hopefully
have
up to
kilograms on there?
Because I use different... Because I remember on my spreadsheet I've got all three, so I flip between whichever makes the nicer number.
Alright, okay.
So is it 10 kilograms or is it 12.5 pounds?
My brain thinks easier in kilograms because that's what the hospital uses.
So in kilograms, someone will get this wrong because it's 35 divided by 2.5.
You said £7, didn't you?
Yeah, so it's about 5 kilograms or so.
Really? That's not as...
About 4 or 5 kilograms.
That's what you want to do in a week? Was that number right then for a week, or have I misunderstood that number?
That number was from day one.
Right. So I have misunderstood what you...
Yeah, no, I didn't lose 14 kilograms a week.
If I understood, yeah. So what's...
So if we work on what the pledge originally was, so my total loss since the 1st of January would have been 14 was the aim, was 14 kilograms.
So in that week, what should that number have been for a week?
For a week, it's basically £1 per day, which is
should have been £7.
about £7.
Right, got you. So you want to lose £7.
Yeah.
Right, I'm glad we got that clarified because I'd never noticed that.
Yeah.
Right, £7.
Well, I think that's why you thought it was absolutely ridiculous to do it in a week.
Yeah, I did kind of think it was ridiculous, but there you go. Nobody else spotted that either though. So anyone watching? Right, cool. Right, so is that it? Just 7? Is that all we want to add on to that?
Yeah, so £7 more.
£7 more released.
2, I'd rather it be up to 10 to catch up with because of the difference. But 7 is what would keep it on track. I want £1 per day, so it should be day 37. So I should have lost. Not 37? No, it's day 12. Be day 34. So I want a total of lost £34 from the 1st of January.
I'm going to add one to this if that's alright.
Yeah.
Watch this Goji Man vid.
Yeah.
Goji Man, I've spelled it wrong.
Just send me a link.
Yeah, I will do. No. If we're not looking out for each other, then we ain't doing it right.
Yeah.
Buzzing. Happy with that. -£7. 20. One set of 20 press-ups, which will be an improvement of 2 press-ups or an improvement of 5 from your first giving up point. DDP 6 days a week plus Vike. Goji Man vid. Do you want to add anything to mine? Since I've just added some to yours.
Well, you've added Did you mention the pull-ups?
I've added some on everything. Yeah, I've actually upped my pull-ups by 2. So I did 6 pull-ups this week, which actually is to where I start to fail on pull-ups. Is 6. But I've upped it to 8, so that's stretching me. And I've put any kind of pull-ups, so whether they chin-ups, pull-ups, or like
any
that.
lift to chin height.
Yeah, I don't really care what they are. I just do them on that girder there.
Shall I tell you what I like at the moment right now?
Go on.
Is that I can feel my muscles that they've been worked. They've got that. You know when you've got that sort of not cramp but slight cramp. That sort of like they've
the pump.
Yeah.
I reckon I could go again, me. I'm proper game for it. I tell you, it wasn't easy at the beginning of the week, but I just went, I just got stuck in, and my body's just responded nicely. So,
but that's the whole point. That's why, even though I did say I will hold myself accountable. I said that if you're doing press ups, I'm doing press ups. I'm still chuffed with the 15 because I'm pretty sure that
you're getting for like 2 or 3 more. You could have done 20.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting. I was like,
there was a point of mind over matter there where that 15 like that. Like honestly, there was a very easy point that at 5, you could have gone. If I just put out 5 of those press ups, you'd have gone. That's something.
Yeah.
You would have felt hard done by a normal life. But then I went 5 and I went, let's make it 10. Can I reach 10?
Love it.
And then I went, this is starting to hurt. But 15, and I suddenly heard the number in your head. I went, Tommie did 20.
Yeah.
Tommie did 20.
Yeah.
Because what's the biggest middle finger to... Because I said, if I racked out 20 there... You would have been instantly just going, I need to do more.
No, not at all. I'm not necessarily ego-driven like that.
But I think in a positive fashion, if you get what I mean.
I'm like, nobody want other than you.
I wanted that
I want
20.
you to freaking win. Do you want to do 20 now?
I don't think I could go up to 20 at this point in time.
That's the spirit. No. My favourite line. I mean, but what the fuck? It'd be a great end to the vid, considering we got like a few in. We're nearly done, aren't we? Alright, come on. David fucking Goggins me. Well, I mean, like, in fact, you're letting me take your soul now, yeah. So, like, yeah, I think you've got to do it. You just smashed 15 out, and you went for the 20.
Yeah.
Seeing the way you went for the 20, I reckon at that 15, you kind of just gave up.
I did,
you mentally gave up. I'm not sure if your body gave up. So I'm game for this. And even if you do another 15, you've just done 2 sets of 15 fucking press ups.
Yeah. I can't lose from this situation. I know
no, you can't. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, you can't lose from this situation at all. You can't. That's fair advice to everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1 second.
You know, you're sliding, yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, wobbling, 17, 17, 18. Right. What? Wow, yeah, I can see you wobbling with that. Wow, dude. Wow. I tell you what, you know, shit can only get better. It really can. Because I've got to say again, you know, you've got the odds stacked against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But it's.
Fuck yeah.
Dare I say it was a thought that I was going to mention. Everyone needs to make their own hero myth.
Explain.
I
know what you mean.
The Herculean journey, the classic one, best example that most people have seen. The original Iron Man movie.
Alright.
Everyone knows the case of Tony Stark, because it's a modern hero myth. Tony Stark is crap, he's a womanizer, drunk, all of this sort of thing, billionaire, got everything going for him. And
dude, I'm putting a 2 there.
And
why not?
He basically just done it, and
yeah.
That means the next time I'm gonna have to try and see if I can push that third one in there.
Well, that's up to you. That's up to you.
Maybe 2.5.
I'll
Now,
tell you what, I can't. I'm well impressed.
And I am too, by the way. I like this because there's the accountability there. There was no. Couldn't lose, but I had the accountability of like, look.
There's a little bit of peer pressure as well, I've got to say. You know.
No, that was accountability.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Because it wasn't pressure. I could have easily said no.
Yeah, but, you know.
But it's like, you wanted to do this.
You just nailed that first set.
It was the accountability of, don't just go for it. Rather than going, oh, maybe you can't do it. It's like, well, you just did.
Yeah.
Which is what you did, just like, you removed that tiny bit of the mind which goes, oh, you're tired.
Well, I saw you having a little battle with yourself then. You could have pumped all sorts of excuses at my face then. I was like, no, man, you did that too easy to say no to a second set.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. And I could see that you were reluctant. It was written all over you, but fuck, you just nailed the reluctant.
But I think that's a good thing for everyone to see as well.
Fucking 5. That's fucking right. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Because like this is the reason why I followed David Goggins was when I found out that he was 296 pounds and then did his first running. He was 6 foot. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
He's small, slightly smaller than me, but he was my build.
Yeah.
And he went out running and then became Navy SEAL and all that sort of things. Like, I saw someone my size do it.
Well, right, it breaks down like this, and I was watching a painting video recently. Like, oh, it's like you're dead lucky. You can paint. No, I'm not dead lucky because I paint. I paint that well because I work fucking hard at it, and I put myself through a bunch of stuff that was difficult.
Yeah.
Again and again and again and again and again. And sometimes you don't want to do this shit because it's difficult. And I know painting isn't exactly pushing yourself.
No, but it's skills and dexterity.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a skill. I mean, again, my journey to build my body back up wasn't easy.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't sit there going, "Oh, it's all right for you. You're able in whatever field you're able." Well, there's only one way that person gets there, and it's by, "Oh, I feel like shit. I'll do it anyway."
Yeah.
Boom. Now
Yeah.
you're getting better.
Body was aching.
So
I could only do slightly more.
Here's an interesting thing about language. What if in another country, everything they thought was exactly the same words but meant the opposite?
Well, there's an example of that. I saw a video of, I think it's in India and some places, where they'll go, yes.
No, what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what I mean.
Exact same thing. Oh, I can't do more means do more.
Yeah.
Literally, those same words. So the fucking thoughts in your head are literally arbitrary.
Yeah.
They are arbitrary.
They're opinions at best.
The meaning they get is the meaning you want to give them. You know, so like when I was trying to get a mate to go up smoking, who's one of the ones I want to do a pledge, and I said, dude, every time you have a cigarette, you have as many as you want, but do this, every time you have a cigarette, tell yourself you're healthy and see what happens to your cigarettes. And you'll start to go, I'm healthy. And you'll be like...
So I'll tell you one of the other ones
you'll
to do
start
is...
to question why you're smoking that
one of the
cigarette.
ones to count every time you put the cigarette back in. Like if you had a pack of cigarettes, like if he does a pack, every time he goes to pick up for one, just go, when you put one back in, when that thought process starts going about, I'm not meant to be smoking. Remember that moment that you went,
yeah, remember
I
the
have power of putting it...
It's the emotional attachment in it, you know.
Or social crutch, or...
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we try... I suppose what we're actually trying to do here is create positive associations with experiences. So you could even take a very negative feeling in your body and you could create the habit of creating a positive experience out of it. And I think maybe that's one of the things I've done, and maybe that's one of the things... Yeah, absolutely. So every time your brain goes, I need a cig, and the habit you've built in is grab a sweet potato and eat it.
Yeah.
You know, because the words are just arbitrary.
You've got to break that link.
The action is what really matters. That's a very
Which is the CBT thing again.
Cerebral thought. Yeah. Cognitive behaviour. Like, you think the words in your head are true. Well, they're not, because you don't go to China and then think those same thoughts in Chinese. You know, but a Chinese person would, and it's all just weird programming.
Take the cigarette example for people that, like, because you mentioned a member of our audience has mentioned about pledges, etc., about stopping smoking. Well, the cognitive behaviour behind it is your behaviour is, now, whatever your trigger is for smoking, which could just be habit, could be just addiction, but the behaviour is for you to smoke.
Do you know
you
what?
need to then put the
bell
thought
ringing
in.
For rats.
Yeah, it's Pavlov's dogs.
Yeah.
And all of that conditional format, I can't remember what it's called. But basically, behaviour is to go for a cigarette. That's where the point is that your thought needs to go, I said I was going to stop this, I should try and stop this. And then your emotion goes, I had the empowerment that did it. Otherwise, what happens is you go the other way around, which is your behaviour is to smoke. Your emotion goes, or thought, whichever way you feel first, basically. Thought then goes, shouldn't be smoking a cigarette, and you still did it, and like, then your emotion gets worse.
Yeah.
Guess what happens from there, though? Your crutch for feeling better is going out for a cigarette. It goes, keeps on going down, wherever the case is, like behaviour. I'm going for a cigarette. No, this isn't good for me. Just put it back in.
Interesting.
And then suddenly your emotion goes, I managed to stop having a cigarette. I'm no longer a slave to this.
Yeah, that's fucking well interesting. And I'm going to make a note before we finish, because it's a good idea to finish if you're happy doing that. That this is the first time we've had a conversation now where the conversation's pretty much been about only our health, whether it be physical, mental, or it's not been about some random topic. So I think that's
we've got a good consistent
quite
feature.
an important thing that today. And I hope some fucking takes something away from it.
Like I said, if anyone wants comment, message,
if anybody wants to talk to me more about Crohn's, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I've just skimmed the surface with what I went through and what I'm still going through, and the work I still have to do. And if anybody needs help or advice,
I say time with the ideas about weight loss and feeling about that, because I said I'm pretty sure that other people listen.
That is for you, you know, like I don't know, probably never will.
The strange thing is, it's physically hard, and I can feel the strain now.
Yeah.
But like I said, the hardest bit was I say it's very easy. It's understandable that at 5, even at 5, I bet you saw the difference when I started reaching 5. Like, that's a point.
I actually saw you, the empowerment in the first set. I saw you like, you got to 5, and then something ramped up in you a little bit. I think you surprised yourself.
Yeah.
You were like, fuck yeah, bring it.
This is it. And especially as well, because in the DDP one where I'm holding for a long period of time, like I say a long period of time, it's 3 seconds, but long 3 count or long 5 count, then slowly going down for 3, 5 count, and so on and so forth, coming back up, 3 count. And it's like, I struggled with them.
Yeah.
But then suddenly actually doing actual press-ups, and I know the difference between just holding a position and moving slowly compared to moving quickly. But it's that moment gone, actually, this isn't as bad as I remember. And that's the step that needs... keep going. It's not as bad as it seems. I knew I could do press ups because when I did a bit of historical European martial arts, I did some press ups and warm ups and that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, at that moment, I go, actually, no, I made 5. Can I get 10? And then when I reached 15, then there was that mental bit of going, I want 20, and then it's like, oh, but your muscles hurt. And then in the second set, it was different because I went, yeah, your muscles hurt, but you've just gone and done another 15 press ups. So
the thing is, right, you've only got good shit to take away, and also at the moment, like I don't know what experience you've got with press ups, but there's good form in press ups and there's bad form in press ups, and some of it. So you've got bad form in your press ups in some ways, but that's because of the way your body's formed and blah blah blah. But sometimes as well, you know, the good form can make things so much freaking harder, which I don't think is what you want at the moment. So like, you press ups with your arms out, press ups with your arms in, do different things. You've got press ups with your arms out, and that makes it easier. But at the same time, because of the way your body's shaped, that makes the way you move.
I'm bowing inside.
Yeah, and as you improve with all that, so I don't know if you notice the way I do, but I hope anyway. That's how it looks.
No, you're flat. You're
very,
solid.
But very.
Yeah.
Not stiff either, but I'm definitely, I focus on
structure.
My dick, my nipples, and my nose should all touch at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the flaw.
I'm sea lion.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can't, you like, you physically can't at the moment, and that's got to make it so much. That's got to make it difficult in one way, in that you can't keep good form in that way, but at the same time, it's not your excuse, which is the amazing bit.
I would also say that I'm pointing out no excuses. Like, I did, they were rubbish, but they were done. The exercise is still done.
Yeah, the exercise is still done, and the point is it's only gonna get just freaking better. I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited.
The one also you should remember is the one that I said at the point was, I essentially bench pressed an equivalent of around about 150 kilograms.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're heavier
which
than I am,
is 2 of me.
Yeah. And if
you bench press me now,
you might be solid enough. If you're rigid enough.
That's.
Fuck it, let's go.
Right, okay. How are you going to do it? I'm going to have to literally just lay down on your chest.
That's fine, you're not that heavy. Remember, I used jiu-jitsu.
Right, okay. So I'm 70 whatever. You're going to have to hold me dick.
Go on your back.
Go.
No. That's a lot harder than
No, that's not easy, is it? Right. No, so you can't bet. I literally thought you were going to do it at one point. Fucking hell.
I needed to just straighten out my arm and I just couldn't do it.
The difference is you have this lateral movement as well to put up with. Wow. Well, that was a good effort. That.
But
let me do you. No.
I'm sorry to say we have recorded.
Well, so what we've just learned there is there's weight distribution going on.
Yeah. But the thing that I was kind of saying about the 150 kilograms is if you're heavier than I am or even lighter than I am and you do one, you still got to put it into context that that's you moving that weight.
Yeah.
And although it might look great, like your press ups have got better form than mine and so on and so forth. And there's a certain element you've got to
practice that. Yeah.
That's the other one to be remembered.
Yeah, I get it. You know, that's why I wasn't shy about giving myself quite a large jump from.
Yeah.
And then another large jump. I'm alright with that because, you know, last year I was doing 3 sets of 30. You know, so I want to get back there pretty damn quick, and I trust and I understand my body can do that because I know, you know, but once we get there, then my test really begins, I think. I'm
also slowly getting better into understanding if I don't reach it. Because now it is 40 press up. No, I will. I should.
You'll piss it.
Especially now because I'll work it. But the point is, even if you miss something, it's like, no, I'm going forward.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be people out there that think, oh, they're shit set of goals, or I can do X, Y, and Z. But the point is, you know, we're here, we're making progress, and where does that progress end? Well, it ends ad infinity.
Yeah.
So you can judge it all you want, and You know, I'm not here to talk to myself either, but I am here to have fun. I'm here to get better. I'm here to hopefully encourage other people to do the same thing. And
I'd also add, if anyone starts saying that they can do better, I'd like to point out you need to read one particular book and you're breaking rule 4.
What's that?
Never compare to anyone else, compare to where you were before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone uses the phrase, you don't know me, you weren't in my shoes, walk in my shoes, etc. Yes, I don't. Just compare where you are yesterday. That is the point of these.
You weren't 40 press-ups in yesterday.
I honestly, if you asked me if I could do, like even the 35 today, if you asked, in the space of...
You didn't do 35, you did 37 at least.
Either way. Even if I took the low number compared to the high number, it doesn't make any...
Yeah.
If you asked me, could you do 35 press-ups in the space of 20 minutes?
I know. Yeah.
Do you know what? If you actually asked me, could I do that in that amount? I'd probably go, no, even if I could.
I'll tell you what, I'd have expected much shitter press-ups from you if you'd have said to me, I could do 20, I'd have gone, I bet there'd be bullshit press-ups.
Yeah.
And I actually saw you trying your dick off to doing as good as possible, and I'm just impressed. So fucking hell. Can't wait for next week.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm impressed by the press-ups.
I'm well up for it. It makes me like, okay.
But there's the taking the souls moment there, just gone, but in a good way.
Well, what I mean is, it's inspirational, isn't it? You know, what I mean is, like, what I'm adding in is things I like and want to do.
Yeah.
What you just did was something you didn't like and didn't want to do. And that's a very respectable thing. Although my dietary things are things I really...
We're two, like I said, we're in two slightly different ways. Your diet stuff is more concentrated on that one, where I'm just maintaining, whereas your health one is you're just tweaking. Your exercise is more tweaky, where my diet's a bit more tweaky, and the exercise one, I'm upping my exercise, where you're upping your diet.
Do you know what I think? I said in other video, didn't I? And I think this is where I think I would really love for us to get to a bigger audience.
I do too.
Because what we're doing is we're bringing polarized views together, you know, and that wasn't the necessarily intention, but the fact that we realise that, you know, we can live in harmony, you know, and all that business.
I think it's not even harmony, it's the point that we kind of want the same things.
Yeah, we do want the same things,
but do it in different ways,
healthy,
and that's political and all this stuff.
Happy, lucky, and you know, maybe both ways are good. Maybe we don't have to be cunts to each other either because we choose in different ways.
Should I tell you what the worst part of me right now is? I kind of want to do 15 more.
Do it!
The reason why is because I said that when you would do a press-up, I would do the press-ups. Now, I don't reckon I could do 3 sets of 20.
I wouldn't.
I could do at least 15.
Mate, I would not sell yourself out with that comment now. I literally reckon you could do another 20, and I reckon you could have done 20 the first time. And seeing what I've just seen.
And the reason why is because then I actually keep to that part of my accountability, like I said last podcast.
However, if you'd like to up it,
that means the next lot will have to go up more as well.
What I would do to up your pledge, whether it be now,
is form.
I literally would add farming now.
Well,
because
I think
you will all of a sudden realise that fuck. Or you might take a soul again and go, actually, I can do this as well. So okay, what have you got to lose?
I am going to see how many I can do in my last one, because that's the way we're going to win this podcast. Because that's
do you want to add a little bit of farming as well?
I'm just going to go for it. Just in numbers at the moment.
Are you sure?
Yeah!
Right.
And then we'll do our usual ending shake. And then that seems like a good one, because then not only am I accountability, I've just sort of taken it and just...
You smashed the living shit out of any kind of physical... mind your feet on the rug, because they put you up last time, didn't they?
Yeah. I had to walk forward on plank,
Yeah.
And there's that bit of doubt that just clicked in my head going, you're an idiot. But you fucking love it.
I'll tell you what, the one thing with farm is the way you rock a little bit.
Yeah, which wastes energy.
So that's why I mentioned going on books on your hands and feet, because all it does is extend your range.
I think I destroy books.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, go for it, mate. 16, 17, 19, 20, beasted. Yeah, man, fucking brilliant.
Go do that camera. Oh, where's the count?
Alright, we'll record it on our mobile phones, we'll cut it.
No, I meant handshake.
Alright, well, no, that was just, we'll do the camera one at the end. But you notice how you
Yeah.
the more knackered you get. So yeah, what reckon we fix your farm next? And you'll find that you'll get better quicker.
Yeah.
Mate.
Got no excuses at the moment.
So, fucking brilliant. Yeah, fucking brilliant.
I think that's a good example taking souls there.
I think we've said it all. I think you took your own soul and made it into something new there, mate. To be honest, yeah. I don't have any ego-based fucking flops at that. I just feel encouraged, you know. So fuck, brilliant.
I think that's the end there.
I think we've done, aren't we? Yeah. Rough. Cher. Not the singer, but the action.
If there's any, just send it to everyone. I know that sounds like spam, but
it does sound like spam, and it's not as if we're making any money off this.
No, there's no AdSense. There is nothing. I haven't even set up any sort of Patreon or anything. So
no, it's just two freaking guys who are trying to make a better life.
And actually, the one thing I do want for anyone who does listen, put something in. The only person
Yeah. You're only going to benefit.
Yeah, the only person who's going to be able to tell you whether or not that you've done it, even there, is you're telling us to do it, that you've done it.
Yeah.
But the moment it goes up on the wall, there is that now point of mind, which is what Tommie went through, which is, I'm not going to add that one in. I'm going to do 20 because why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's an interesting little phrase to end this on. And it's a lyric by the band Gojira. If you change yourself, you change the world. You know, and that's just a fact. And if you're not happy with the world, then change yourself, because it's the most immediate and best place, because you benefit as well.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're trying to do. So, you know, maybe we are changing the world, but we're definitely changing ourselves. So, make all that what you will. I'm waffling on now.
Yeah. Prepare yourself for the path, because you can't prepare the path for yourself.
Yeah, right, dudes, rock on. Put it there again, because I'm like, that was a proper thing. That was an event, that.